Game about to start here at Victoria Park, and there's some action aplenty right near the centre circle. The umpire can't even get past the players to bounce the ball. Steins gets the first hit out, but a free kick has been spotted by umpire Russo, and it will go to Collingwood to be taken by their captain Tony Shaw. Right in the centre of the ground, he kicks it long with the aid of the breeze. The Magpies going to the left of screen, and a fairly strong breeze at their back. Monkhorst, a good mark. Steins disputing with the umpire, but there's not much point in that as Damien Monkhorst prepares to shoot for goal from about 40 metres out. Monkhorst, nice looking kick, but just offline and through for the first score of the match. That's a behind to Collingwood.
Kicked the ball there pretty well, Robbo, from about 40 metres. Just lacked accuracy, but he does kick the ball pretty well. Peter Rode kicks in for Melbourne. Favours the outer side of the ground. Steins in front, thumped away by Monkhorst. This is Keogh. Brett Lovett from half-back for Melbourne goes directly down the centre of the ground. Charles in good position, doesn't go for it. Taken by Glenn Lovett. It finally ends up with Charles into that forward line. Pert playing on Jakovich. Mickey Gafer on Schwartz. He taps it in front. This is Sean Wight trying to make something happen in the Melbourne forward line. Jakovich, good tackle by Garry Pert. He let it go. And a free kick to Garry Pert. No doubt about that one, Robbo.
Well, and Jakovich not too happy, encouraging the Collingwood players to stir it up. So Melbourne fired up out here at Victoria Park. Certainly an important game for Collingwood. At present, they're on top of the ladder, but the competition is pretty fierce. Glenn Lovett, shot for goal. First goal to Melbourne. Good play by the Demons, forcing it forward. And Glenn Lovett, their very consistent on-baller, midfielder, kicks the first goal. Melbourne lead 1 goal. Collingwood are 1 behind.
Yes, Melbourne's form pretty good over the last couple of weeks. A good win in Adelaide. Last week, a very easy victory against the Tigers, although the opposition wasn't all that strong. So I think Collingwood certainly would be facing a danger game here at Victoria Park. Back in the centre, Monkhorst up against Steins. The bounce favours Steins. He gets a thump away, but taken by Monkhorst, doing the roving as well. Morwood in good position to take this. So strong mark by Morwood, plays on immediately. Goodwin putting on the pressure. Morwood not sure where to go. And finally around the corner, and Viney cuts that off.
Brett Lovett takes the hand pass and sets Steins up a little bit there, but Jimmy Steins holding his ground, may have been awarded the free kick. Steins just behind the wing, kicks it in towards centre half forward. No one can take the mark. It's McCartney away to McGuan. In turn to Williams in the centre of the field. Tony Shaw's little kick, effective, and Russell takes the mark. Could he have been off? Graham Yates, the tackle not bad. Holds it up a little bit. Away to Krasiska. Krasiska's kick towards full forward. Good body work by Rode on Dacos. Rode kicks it clear, and the mark is taken there by Stretch. And Stretch, an integral part of the Melbourne side when they're playing well. Steins away to Sean Wight. Sean White's kick up towards the wing. McCartney and Garry Lyon. McCartney gives away the free kick, and Lyon will be the recipient just forward of centre wing. Demons have started well. If anything brings the fire out in the Demon, it's playing Collingwood here at Victoria Park.
Yes, this is McCartney's biggest job up to date, playing on Melbourne skipper Garry Lyon. Goes for the short pass and finds Andy Lovell. A long way from goal, just slightly in Melbourne's attacking zone. Looking for Schwartz. Pert from the back, going for the punch, but a good mark. Oh, must have been a shepherding free kick awarded there. Mick Gafer to take that for Collingwood, and will relieve for the Magpies. And passes quickly, finding Saunders. Going nowhere really. Collingwood are finally around the member side of the ground. Watson could have been held there, and he will take the free kick. Shane Watson, a late inclusion into this Collingwood side. Starcevich out with some sort of groin problem. Couldn't take his position in the starting 20. Tony Shaw, Magpie skipper, you're caught. It's a hand pass away. Tony Francis, left foot quickly, and Graham Yates not able to take that mark. But Collingwood transferring the ball into the forward line very quickly. There will be a boundary throw in about 40 metres around from the Collingwood goal.
Todd Viney with the job, tagging Tony Francis. Francis, a great effort there to get a kick in. There's a free kick in the ruck contest. It's going to Melbourne, and it will be taken by Steins in the back pocket.
He's getting in the right position there, Jimmy Steins, with his height in front of Shane Morwood. There's going to be a free kick awarded. That's the spot to be, Robbo.
Overcast conditions here in Melbourne, but we may get away with a good day. The ground here is fantastic at Victoria Park. Garry Lyon, a good mark. Very experienced campaigner. The kick goes wide, looking for Matthew Phoebe, but away goes Watson. Watson's left foot kick is pretty good. Oh, nearly the mark to Morwood. Doing the crumbing is Rowe. Hand pass, not all that effective. In the action, Lovell, he's underneath there. Can't quite get clear. Francis, Watson, a little tap on into the path of Shaw. It's knocked away by Steins over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in. No, a free kick. I think Tony Shaw conned the boundary umpire then. Tony Shaw's kick into the pocket. The mark is taken. If it's not, it's certainly a free kick to McGuan. And Steins a little disappointed there. But umpire Michael Abbott in charge. McGuan with the kick. He runs around the man on the mark. Gets himself a bit of space. His shot for goal is offline. And Collingwood register another behind. Melbourne lead, 1 goal, 6 points. The Magpies are just 2 behinds. Kick in by Road.
Yes, kick into the outer side stretch, making the lead, and takes a strong mark from half back. He goes for the long kick. Morwood and Goodwin. A very good mark there. Shane Morwood, good use of the body. Under a fair bit of pressure there from Andy Goodwin.
Class might tell out there. Shane Morwood written all over him.
Yes, that's for sure. He goes a centering kick looking for Rocker, but it's Keogh in front. Not awarded the mark. Francis over the top of the ball. Finally, it's Russell. Hand passes out to McGuan. McGuan from 50 metres. Sets sail and has just missed to the right. Oh, it's Collingwood. Not kicking accurately at the moment. 3 behinds trailing Melbourne. 1 goal, 6 behinds.
Well, I can tell you that in the reserves game, Melbourne trailed by 21 points at half-time. And in the third quarter, kicking to the end, to which the Collingwood seniors are kicking now, they kick 8 goals, 8, 16 scoring shots to Collingwood's just 4 behind. So if you want an idea of where the wind is blowing, it's certainly to the left-hand end as Marnie kicks back for Melbourne out towards half-back. Big punch by Monkhorst. Russell and Stretch. Both South Australians there, and they see the ball over for a throw-in. The play about 65 metres around from the Collingwood goal, and we're 6 or 7 minutes into the quarter and they still have yet to kick a goal. Shane Morwood gets the hand pass to no one in particular. Francis held? No. Play on. Graham Yates looked at the umpire. Todd Viney kicks it away. Bumped as he kicked the football, I thought, by Rocker.
I agree.
And the kick goes down the ground to Sean White.
Yes, and this is Sean Charles in front. He's been very good over the last couple of weeks. Matthew Phoebe, the skipper Garry Lyon, and the short passes on to Glenn Lovett. Half forward for the Demons, member side of the ground here at Victoria Park. Glenn Lovett goes long and direct, looking for a big mark on that forward line. Schwartz or Jakovich thumped away by Gary Pert to Tony Shaw, and he clears for the Magpies down the centre of the ground. Goodwin goes for the thump away. This is Todd Viney. Hand passes to Matthew Phoebe. He fumbles at the critical moment. Brad Rowe can clean up. No. Jimmy Steins very nicely with the hip and shoulder puts him off the ball. This is Andy Lovell going direct, long kick. And Jakovich in front could have taken that mark. A real chance there against McCartney, but fumbled. Jakovich still in the hunt for this one against Richardson. Richardson doing pretty well. There could be something happening, a free kick against Jakovich, I think.
Holding when Richardson really didn't have any control of the football.
So Jakovich, a couple of free kicks, pretty costly there for Melbourne early in this game.
And Richardson transfers play to centre half back where Gary Pert couldn't quite get a clear kick at it. Eventually across his left shoulder. Good mark taken by Phoebe. Phoebe off to Glenn Lovett. Glenn Lovett indirect. Could have probably gone a little bit more towards goal there. Kicked it towards the boundary line. Looking out there for Sean White. And it's out of bounds in that right forward pocket for Melbourne. Boundary throw-in was very, very short, but Krasiska's able to tidy up for the Magpies. Nearly run down. Gafer in trouble. Good tackle, Garry Lyon. Chance here for Glenn Lovett, who's had quite a few touches. That's his 4th kick in towards full forward. Kick for goal was by Obst, and it's a goal. So Melbourne get their 2nd goal on the scoreboard through Andrew Obst. Their other goal kicker is Glenn Lovett. Melbourne lead 12 points to 3.
That's an excellent start by the Demons. A costly fumble there. I think it was Mick Gafer who couldn't pick that ball up and allowed Obst to whip in there and have that quick snap at goal, and just got in there and only just cleared the goalpost. But Andrew Obst, one of the very good Melbourne players. Monkhorst against Jimmy Steins, centre bounce. Monkhorst wins it. Tony Shaw, a quick kick on the right foot. This is Graham Yates over the ball, taken by Rowe. A quick hand pass. This is a big chance for Collingwood from Scotty Russell. Oh, he has plenty of time and misses badly to the left.
Gee, what a magnificent handball by Brad Rowe.
What a chance though. Mickey McGuan's kicked 2 behind, Scott Russell 1 behind, and Damien Monkhorst 1 behind. A kick in coming from Peter Road, favouring the member side of the ground. Monkhorst going for the punch away. Well, the umpire spotted a free kick. I didn't see it, but Jimmy Steins takes it from halfback for the Demons.
Very soft. Steins kick towards centre wing. Marcus taken by Chris Siska. Oh, that doesn't
he's
look
gone
too
too,
good.
Robbo, I think.
Thigh problem. Very quickly calls for the trainers off the bench. Hand pass to McGuan, and Krasiska limping straight away to the interchange area as Goodwin marks at centre halfback, and Krasiska off. Jamie Turner on. Krasiska probably will take no further part in the game. Goodwin's kick to centre wing. Was that a mark? No, play on. Schwartz's hand pass finds Keogh. Keogh's little kick in towards the centre. Lovell could get the hand pass away to Brett Lovett, who's looking for the shepherd on Tony Shaw. Lovell's kick up towards centre half forward. Nearly a mark to Richardson. Obst to Jakovich. Another goal to Melbourne. Great start. Demons get their 3rd goal through Alan Jakovich, and they lead 18 points to 4.
Wow, this has been a wonderful start by the Demons. An accurate kicking, 3 goals straight. Collingwood with the opportunities. They haven't been able to capitalise. 4 straight behinds. And Krasiska off the ground for the Magpies. He looks to be in all sorts of trouble. Back for the centre bounce. Monkhorst again against Jimmy Steins. Monkhorst, big run at that one. And looking very aggressive at that centre bounce. Thumped away there by Goodwin. Sean White, he's tackled by Gafer. In the end, Russell kicks it out to the outer side of the ground, slightly in Collingwood's attacking zone, but this one will trickle over the boundary line for a boundary throw in front of the rush stand.
You can see why Goodwin's in that Melbourne side. He just ran straight through that centre crush of players and nearly cleaned up a Collingwood player. Monkhorst over the top with Schwartz. Chance for Gafer. Away to Russell. Russell having a good look upfield. His kick is not bad into the pocket. Yates, good mark. Excellent mark taken by Yates, who's had a fairly good season. Interrupted by suspension just a couple of weeks ago, but Yates has played very well for the Demons. A big punch there by Monkhorst. He's disappointed with that decision. Well, there's 3 kickers going to Steins, and it's probably about his 4th free kick.
2 pretty soft ones there. I thought the one against big Jimmy Steins earlier was pretty soft, and that one also. Monkhorst, a good strong thump away. I thought this mark taken by Williams for Collingwood across half-back, looking for and finding Scott Russell. Could be 50 metres. Be careful, Andrew Obst. Away goes Russell, going for a short pass and finding Turner, the player that replaced Krasiska, who went off with what looked like a groin injury. But that attack's cut off there in the back line for Melbourne by Graham Yates.
Yates' short kick finds Steins. Steins is at half-back. Goes to play on. He's got a player in support at stretch. Just gets his foot to the ball, and a good effort by Sean White. The ball looked as though it may have been too high, but he marked it, played on quickly, and then let himself down with poor delivery, and it goes out of bounds right in front of the small scoreboard. Showing you that Melbourne lead 3 goals. Collingwood are 4 behinds. And the windsock still indicating down the left-hand end that the breeze is blowing in Collingwood's favour. Keogh's kick nearly marked by Williams. In there to help out is Tony Shaw. Away he goes to McCartney. McCartney's long kick to centre wing. No mark taken. Steins quick to recover. Handball away to Stretch. Stretch's high kick. Centre half forward. Nearly the mark there to Glenn Lovett. Some good pressure put on by Saunders. Williams and Charles. Saunders again, but the free kick to Charles against Paul Williams.
Yes, he was being held, Robbo. 17 years of age, young Sean Charles, and playing his 9th game for the Demons. He goes long into the forward pocket, looking for Schwartz. 2 Collingwood players there, and Gary Pert, I think, will be awarded this mark, yes. Collingwood veteran, played a lot of football with Fitzroy, of course, won the best and fairest for the Lions in 1989. So a very experienced player in this Collingwood defence. Favouring the member side of the ground. Monkhorst in front this time. Thumped away by Jimmy Steins on the ground. Nothing much happening. I think the umpire, no. Yes, he will come in and call for a bounce down.
Rod Keogh pretty hard at the football there. Johnny Russo, who's usually quite animated, but a very friendly person. Just making sure that the players have one thing in mind. Look at Garry Lyon gather that ball. The kick, well, he was trying to centre it, but chipping in and taking the mark for Collingwood was Tony Shaw. Away to McGuan. Gaffer Shepherd not bad on Obst. Gives McGuan a little bit of space. His kick is excellent. Pert has Richardson running beautifully. Wider still. Mark taken by Fraser. Short kick. Rowe must go hard. No. Matthew Phoebe a good punch from Watson. And the ball forced over for a boundary throw in Yates.
Well, the kick could have been better there, Robbo. There was two Collingwood players. And Matthew Phoebe the only demon there to contest. And the kick really set it up for Matthew Phoebe so he could punch it away. The boundary throw in, Jimmy Steins again getting that tap down. Eventually taken by Steins. Short kick away. Off the ground by Scotty Russell. Todd Viney. Hand pass to Brett Lovett. He goes straight down the centre of the ground looking for the skipper Garry Lyon or Schwartz. Almost a very good mark to Schwartz. In fact, the umpire has paid it on the second attempt. As the Collingwood player comes off the ground, Manson about to come on. He is replacing Watson. The short pass there from Schwartz is cut off, but Brett Lovett quickly recovering. Oh, terrific play by Garry Pert. We did that last week against Essendon on a number of occasions, and again, completely beating Jakovich pointless.
And Manson nearly collected the football. Away goes Williams, bounced it, left it behind. Oh, good effort by Viney. Very fair, I thought. And the umpire, well, it's right in front of the Collingwood Social Club. No more need be said.
Well, a few ordinary decisions early in this match, Robbo. We've been talking about the umpire's decisions, but a couple of those have been pretty soft early in this match.
Gaffer takes the pass from Williams and kicks it in towards centre-half forward. Yates on Rowe. Yates left the ball behind, so did Fraser. Stretched, then eventually Brett Lovett. Attempted kick off the ground. It's spinning like a top there. James Manson is the player. Brad Rowe with pace. Will it sit for him? He's still got the football in front. He has handled that like a magician. Up towards full forward. And Severio Rocker can't control it. It goes through for another behind at Collingwood.
Well, showed an enormous amount of pace there, Brad Rowe, the former Brisbane Bears player.
What a scoreline for the Magpies. They've kicked 5 behinds. Melbourne have kicked 3 straight, and Steins marks the kick in.
There's from halfback Jimmy Steins. Not a very well-directed kick, and Jamie Turner cuts that off for the Magpies. Quickly to Mickey McGuan, leading kick winner in the AFL competition, and Rocker could have given a free kick away, not paid. A good tackle though by Rocker. He followed it up very nicely. Matthew Phoebe, hand pass over the top. Todd Viney relieves the pressure for the Demons, out of defence, goes short and finds Andrew Obst.
Obst is just wide of the centre circle. His kick is pretty good. Viney running with the flight of the ball. Melbourne hand passing at all occasions. Obst into the pocket. The mark is taken by Jakovich. And Melbourne running rings around Collingwood, making the Magpies look a little slow. They've had 45 kicks to 39, 17 hand passes to 16, 19 marks to 17. And Jakovich prepares to kick for his second goal. And much to the delight of the Collingwood fans up there in the Sherrin stand, it's out of bounds on the full.
I don't think he's a favourite with the Collingwood supporters, Alan Jakovich. Very pleased to see that one.
And Saunders is the Collingwood player who will be asked to go back and kick over the man in the mark in that back pocket.
He's favouring the outer side of the ground. A long high kick, Monkhorst in front. Steins at the back, the man in front should be paid. He's not.
Now, how does an umpire make a decision like that? That's totally irrational.
He may have got his hands to it first, Steins. That's the only reason for that. I'm not too sure, but the kick in the end.
He's squared up now.
Yes, over the boundary line. So a free kick to be taken by Collingwood in defence by Garry Pert.
Pert's kick, effective. Good mark taken out there by Manson. Handball away, Turner fumbles, critical. Oh, in goes Manson. Obst handball, misses the target. Fraser, good hand pass. He goes Richardson, who was a terrific player last week for the Magpies. Shane Morwood, handball, gives away a little bit of ground. Williams from inside the square. The pass, in short, Marnie. Shepherd okay. Brett Lovett didn't really get his fist to the ball. Francis, who's been quiet, tagged by Viney. Here's a chance for Williams. Gives away ground. Russell fumbles. Hand pass, not bad. Rocker. He's too slow, but he's going to get his kick away. It's into the square. It'll bounce through for Collingwood. Goal. Severio Rocker kicks Collingwood's first goal with just 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. The Magpies 1-5, trail Melbourne, who are 3 goals straight.
It's a long time coming, 20 minutes into the first quarter before Collingwood was able to register its first goal. The big fellow at full forward, Severio Rocker. He's been very good for the Magpies since coming into this side. Had a little bit of time to get around onto his right foot and kick that goal. Monkhorst again, up against Steins. Monkhorst wins the tap down. Nothing happening at ground level though. Steins following up, kicking off the ground. This is Mick Gayfer at the bottom of the pack. I think he'll get a free kick for that. Keogh a little bit too severe, rode him into the ground. So Michael Gayfer taking the kick from half back, squares it right across towards the member side of the ground. Garry Pert has left Jakovich. Jakovich, you must defend better than that. Garry Pert, 2 bounces. Hand pass to Tony Shaw, again into the centre of the ground. Hand passes further to Scotty Russell. He goes direct, looking for Rocker at the back. Yes, Rocker, a very good mark. And that goal, well, I think Jakovich coming from the ground. So John Northey not too happy with Alan Jakovich early in this match. And Darren Bennett will come on to take over his position at full forward. Well, that's pretty severe early in the match, Robbo. He didn't mess around with him.
Oh, well, I think it's discipline, isn't it?
Exactly.
Teams win matches, not individuals.
So Rocker in for his second. Pretty close, but just missing across the goal face. So Severio Rocco, he's kicked 1 goal 1.
So Darren Bennett, who was a last-minute inclusion in the 20. John Howard not able to take his place for the Demons. And, oh, there's a rather careless, but it's effective. Lovell take the kick in, away to Brett Lovett. Brett Lovett's kick up towards half forward. Good effort by Gayfer to spoil. Punches the ball away and then is still held by the Melbourne player. And Gayfer will take the free kick. Away to Richardson, he's in trouble. All sorts of trouble. Lyon and Charles, Lyon and Schwartz. Schwartz from 50 metres. Lovely long kick. But he hooks it a little bit too far and it's out on the full, the free kick to be taken by Pert.
It wasn't a good hand pass there from Gayfer to Richardson. He put the ball behind him. He had to prop and wait for it. And that's just that split second allowed the Melbourne players there to come in and apply that tackle on Richardson. Garry Pert, right back pocket for Collingwood. Kicks long, good 55-60 metre kick from Garry Pert. The 2 ruckmen contest that one again. Andy Lovell in front, tackled by Francis. This is Keogh. But the ball's over the boundary line for another boundary throw. In very good first quarter by Melbourne. With only 5 minutes remaining on the clock. They lead 3 goals, 18 points. Collingwood 1 goal, 6-12.
Steins and Monkhorst, good contest, but Gary Lyon gets his foot to the ball very, very quickly. In towards half forward, but an excellent mark taken by Pert. And it looks like another good day for Gary Pert coming up. The kick is a magnificent 35 to 40 metre, exactly onto the chest of Monkhorst. They've got the ball, Collingwood, out on that far wing. Manson's just slight lack of skill there showing up. Russell, he's a very creative player. Look at the way he balks and turns. Gives himself some space. Up towards half forward, it's picked off by Morwood. Morwood's kick, a little too far for Rocker. It's bouncing, now to the favour of him. His kick for goal, he did a good job for a big man, but he couldn't quite hook the ball around far enough, and it's through for a behind.
There's Paul Williams there just asking why didn't he hand pass it, because he left himself a pretty tight angle to get that around on his left foot, Severio Rocker. He's kicked 1 goal 2.
196 centimetres and just 18 years of age. He'll be 19 in November. Kick in by Road.
A free kick there, and that will be taken.
Well, when is an advantage rule not an advantage rule? If that's a free kick and Lovell had the run of the ball, why wasn't it advantage paid?
Yes, exactly. Well, anyway, Jim Steins delivers it to Brett Lovett. A long hand pass to Glenn Lovett. Melbourne can set something up here. The lead was a little bit too high for Bennett, that kick. He was on the lead. It was a good lead, but taken for Collingwood out of defence by Jamie Turner. Manson onto the ground very early, replacing Watson. Gets a long hand pass to Fraser. Away he goes. He's a real racehorse, Mark Fraser, from about 60 metres out. Not all that good. Fortunately touched for Melbourne in defence by Peter Rode.
Gee, Mark Fraser had to have assessed that situation just a little better. He could have nearly kicked a goal there. Peter Rode getting back, defending grandly. We remember a couple of years ago, Peter Rode and Tony Campbell, who was playing for Melbourne at the time, the two players shutting out the champions at Hawthorn, Brereton and Dunstall, in successive weeks to keep the Demons alive in their quest for a very evasive premiership flag the Demons have been chasing since 1964. Goodwin, his kick close to the boundary line. Excellent mark taken by Sean Wight.
Gee, he was up high, wasn't he, Robbo? Great mark. Good pair of hands, Sean Wight.
Very athletic type of player, Sean Wight. Hand passes away to Keogh. Keogh loves to run straight at the football. There's a good mark taken by Glenn Lovett. Coming up for kick number 6. In towards half forward. Sean Charles. A little tap for Obst. Obst unselfishly. Away to Brett Lovett. And goal number 4 to Melbourne. Fantastic football. Brett Lovett kicks his first goal. Demons get their 4th. They lead 4 goals straight. Collingwood 1-8.
Yes, well, 9 scoring shots to 4 in favour of Collingwood. And yet the 10-point margin in favour of Melbourne with some superb football. They've used the ball beautifully into that forward line. Brett Lovett kicking his first goal, but good use of the ball. Great team play. They won't feature in the finals this year, Melbourne. They've certainly shown some spirit over the last 3 weeks. Centre bounce down. Monkhorst again. Charges in. Gets a tap away, but only as far as Lovell. He goes direct. Bennett and Pert. And bounces favourably for Garry Pert. He's having a very good first quarter for Collingwood. A high kick. Outer side of the ground. Brett Lovett can't take that mark. Scotty Russell recovers very well and could set something up here for the Pies. One bounce. Has a second bounce, and from 45 metres set sail and has kicked Collingwood's second goal.
Well, that really was excellent play there by Scott Russell. Melbourne leading 4 goals straight to 2-8 with 2 minutes left. But Russell gathering the ball, 2 or 3 players having a grasp at it out there on the outer wing. But when he could see that it was Jimmy Steins that was the player between he and the goals, and he was able to get past Steins, there was no stopping Scott Russell, and away he went to register the Magpies' second goal. Two minutes left in the quarter. Monkhorst up high. Tony Shaw can't control it. McGuan held by Steins, and the umpire calls for another bounce. It's a very good first quarter by the Demons, kicking into the breeze. Collingwood have had 10 scoring shots rather, and still Melbourne lead. Stretch, his kick into a vacant centre half forward position. Back goes Saunders. Hand pass out in front of Richardson. Richardson able to get his kick away. Oh, Francis, down he goes. Must be a free kick. Fairly obvious there.
There's a double whammy there, and then Todd Vonnie landed on top of him.
Short kick to Tony Shaw. Tony Shaw's short kick is okay. Oh, McGuan couldn't quite grasp it. Keogh tries to flick it to his own advantage, but the ball held in just wide of centre half forward, and the umpire calls for a bounce.
Another big chance there for the Demons. Had Keogh been able to take that ball cleanly. He's picking up Mickey McGuan. McGuan not able to take that mark, spilling over the back there. And Keogh on the burst. Had he been able to take it, it would have been a big chance. Monkhorst stumps it away, but only as far as Keogh this time. And looking for Bennett. He's set up there because Pert can thump it away from the back. And this is Mark Fraser getting away from Lovett. The hand pass away further afield. He'd be pretty happy about that. I thought that was out of bounds, but no, said the umpire. Garry Lyon, the Melbourne skipper, from about 60 metres out, centres the ball, looking for Sean White, and a very good mark there to Sean White.
Excellent kick by
Terrific
Lyon.
kick. Experience there from the Melbourne skipper. A little bit of feeling in this match early on too. The two traditional rivals, Collingwood and Melbourne, playing here at Victoria Park. Only the 5th game for 1992 being played at Victoria Park. Sean White to take this kick at goal from about 40 metres out, directly in front. Very ordinary kick off the boot. However, it sails through. Another goal to the Demons. So Melbourne 5 goals straight, 24 5 goals straight, 30 points, leading Collingwood 2 goals, 8-20. So a very good first turn by the Demons with only 7 seconds remaining on the clock in this first quarter. Great set up there by the Melbourne skipper, Garry, Lyon, centering ball, just showed experience there. And Sean Wight, the player on the lead, taking a strong chest mark.
So only seconds left in the first quarter. Been a good one, very entertaining. Steins taps it down. Williams runs away, hand pass, well, ineffective, and Collingwood fail in that endeavour to get their third goal. The siren sounds, and at quarter time, Melbourne lead 5 goals, 30 points. Collingwood 2-8, 20 points.
Don't forget to continue family day at Collingwood. Sunday the 30th of August. It's going to be a great day.
Gee, Krasiska's gone, isn't he? He must have been proppy going into this game. He did nothing. Yeah. Looks like a quad muscle or something like that, a quad or a groin.
The Magpie bar under the rider stand is open today to Collingwood members and will be open until 7 o'clock tonight. That's the Magpie bar under the rider stand, open till 7 o'clock tonight. We do apologise that the third floor of the social club is closed to members today for the installation of the gaming machines, but it's just for today, and third floor is closed because of the introduction.
Second quarter about to start between Collingwood and Melbourne, and Collingwood 10 scoring shots in the first quarter, trail by 10 points.
Taken away by Tony Shaw out of the centre. Shane Morwood in front. It's a hand pass to Tony Francis. Collingwood mounting something here. Just pushed as he kicked that ball. Tony Francis didn't deliver it well into the forward line. Big Rocker throws his weight around. He's doing well at full forward. And eventually for Melbourne, Peter Rode gets a hurried kick away. As far as Jimmy Steins, he might get that free, no. Tony Shaw pretty severe on him. Jimmy Steins just feeling his nose as play goes on. Jamie Turner tries to hand pass it away. McCartney at the bottom of the pack.
Tell you, he will receive the free in the first quarter. Dacos has not touched the ball.
Peter Rode picking up Peter Dacos. Long kick from McCartney. A good kick into the goal square. Matthew Marnie, the job on Rocker, and there he is, the player. Matthew Marnie playing his first game for 1992 for the Demons, clearing around the members' side, and a good mark there to Stephen Stretch.
Stretch, usually a good kick, 45 metres up towards half forward. Collingwood defence under pressure, they fall over there. McCartney, which is quite critical. Obst, away to Charles with pace. Charles goes for goal. High kick, close to the goal line, but he's offline and through for the Demons first behind.
Yes, Robbo. Jakovich had the break there on Gary Pert. A good 5 metres there. Had Sean Charles got that pass away instead of blazing away, it could have been almost a good setup there for a goal to Melbourne.
Gary Pert, who had 10 possessions in the first quarter, 6 marks, 8 kicks, 2 hand passes, to be the dominant player in that quarter. Gary Pert's kicking in towards the centre of the ground. McCartney. Did he feed it to Tony Shaw unfairly? Away to Fraser, the racehorse. His kick to centre half forward. Marnie, a good defensive punch away. Rowe goes down, and that's unfair. And the umpire awards a free kick to Brad Rowe.
Well, he had the momentum up, Marnie, there. Unfortunately, it was good defence. He was very aggressive at the ball.
Rowe's kick holds up in the breeze, but an easy mark taken by Rocker as the Demon defender, Matthew Marnie, misjudged that completely. And Brad Rowe getting a pat of encouragement from James Manson as Rocker prepares to shoot for goal. Very important kick for Collingwood. Rocker kicks the goal. Severio Rocker kicks his second goal. And Collingwood get the first goal of the second quarter. They trail by 5 points.
Severio Rocker playing in his 6th game for Collingwood. He's now kicked 20 goals for the season. A very big player physically, very strong overhead and reading the ball better there, as you said, Robbo. Just the ball sitting up in the breeze there. Marnie expecting it to go longer. And Rocker with the judgment, taking that strong overhead mark. Bounce down from umpire Abbott, favouring Jimmy Steins. Doesn't try for the big thump away. Should have probably on that occasion, taken by Fraser. And Yates attempted diving mark, but this has set it up for Brad Rowe with his pace. If it sits for him, he's a big chance to kick this one. No, he's missed to the left. A good play there by Brad Rowe. Graham Yates really committed himself diving for that mark. If he didn't take it, he was always going to be in trouble.
Hasn't Brad Rowe shown a lot more of football ability since coming from Brisbane to play football here in Melbourne?
Well, I think it's always easier playing in a good side, Robbo, and he's playing in a side leading the competition, top of the ladder at the moment. And finally, the free kick, and the Collingwood crowd really appreciating that, Robbo. Finally, Monkhorst being awarded the free kick.
I think that
free kicks 29-17 in favour of Melbourne.
And there's another one. It may be is it a free kick or a mark there to Rocker?
I'm sorry, 8 free kicks to Melbourne.
And 17 to
Collingwood.
Well, why would they be jeering and cheering when they get a free kick? I mean, they've obviously had the advantage of the umpiring decision so far.
Well, there was about 4 free kicks there awarded against Monkhorst, and also a marking decision that went against the big Collingwood player.
Well, Rocker, from centre half forward, about 35 to 40 metres out. His kick is very good. It's his third. I'm very impressed with Severio Rocker. Just 18 years of age, 193 centimetres, and what a future he has for Collingwood.
Yes, he's certainly done the job for Collingwood. As I say, only 18 years of age. Very good, very big boy, 105 kilos. Matthew Marnie really with his hands full here today, playing in his first game for 1992 with the Demons.
Now, the young fella needs to move around a little bit and give Matthew Marnie something to worry about up there.
Again, the bounce down. Monkhorst, a big run in, gets the thump away. At ground level taken by Todd Viney. Hurried kick around the corner into the Demons attacking zone inside the 50 metres. Gary Pert well out in front of Jakovich. Good play by Gary Pert. And that relieves the pressure for the Collingwood side. McCartney has had a good season playing at centre half back since he's taken over from Craig Kelly. And Shane Morwood forced over the boundary line for a throw in. Just slightly in Collingwood's favour from the centre there, Robbo, as the boundary umpire throws it in. Steins up against Manson. Jimmy Steins gets a thump away. Phoebe cut off there by Fraser. Glenn Lovett eventually cleaning up for Melbourne.
And the kick goes in towards the forward pocket area, but Pert, the general, controlling it. Richardson back to Pert. Pert very close to the boundary line. The smother was good. Obst. Oh, a lovely little kick by Obst. Just misses. He could see there was no one in the goal square. And Andrew Obst just holding his head there, a disappointed man. Monkhorst, this is risky. Saunders, tackled, not bad. Now he gives the hand pass away to the captain, Tony Shaw. In turn to McGuan. McGuan's kick is magnificent. That was Mint, Turner, McCartney, through the centre. The pass. Oh, it was a grass cutter. Matthew Marnie. Scott Russell chops it off. Scott Russell kicks a goal. Well, it all happened so quickly on the Collingwood half-forward line. Scott Russell's second goal is Collingwood's 5th, and the Magpies all of a sudden lead by 7 points.
Yes, I just wonder about that breeze, Robbo, whether it's as bad as we at first thought. I know they did kick a lot of goals in the seconds game to the left-hand side of the screen, but seems to be chopping around a bit, that breeze, looking at the windsock. Collingwood doing pretty well here at the moment. The bounce down again. These two have been at it from the start. Monkhorst winning this tap down only as far as Lovell around the corner, and David Schwartz takes the mark out in front of his face. Looking for Jakovich. There's a big gap here if the kick had been okay. Jakovich trying to tap it over the back to himself, but Gary Pert to wake up to that. Not far enough, that kick, but could be a high tackle. Nothing paid. Collingwood fighting hard in defence. Taken by Richardson around the corner. He swings it back nicely, just keeps it in play, and thumped over the boundary line there. Williams playing on Stephen Stretch.
What an excellent kick by Richardson. Not much room there, but he gathered about 30 metres for his side, but more importantly kept it in the field of play. Boundary throw in 50 metres from goal. Sean Wight taken away by Russell. Russell's kick for Collingwood goes back near the wing, and it bounces. Oh, there's a little dust up there between two young fellas, Paul Williams and Todd Viney.
Melbourne have made a change, Robbo. Schwartz to full back, Marnie off the ground, and Bennett into the forward line off the bench.
Boundary throw in, ruck contest, Moncourse gets it. Williams runs onto it beautifully, and then it sits for that player. Hand pass just a little short. Morwood made it better. Russell runs lovely, Scott Russell. Little kick, fantastic. Dacos will kick a goal. Beautiful football by Collingwood, premiership stuff. Magnificent play by Scott Russell. And when Collingwood are on fire, Scott Russell is usually in the middle of the action. He's had 11 kicks and 2 hand passes. He's already kicked 2 goals.
And great vision there, wasn't it, Robbo, from Scotty Russell getting that ball to Dacos. Dacos has been pretty quiet. In fact, that's his first kick for the afternoon. He's always very dangerous, Peter Dacos, being picked up by Peter Rode, who was caught between, well, in a very difficult situation. He didn't know whether to go back with Dacos or to attack the ball. Russell, the player with the ball, he decided to attack Russell, and that left Dacos free. So the bounce down. Moncourse charges in again, doing pretty well against Jimmy Steins today. And following up nicely, the big fella gets a hand pass to Dacos. And a long spiral torpedo at the back. Schwartz over the top of Rocker this time. So the change being made by Melbourne. Schwartz with the job on Rocker after Rocker had kicked 3 early goals. Andy Lovell takes that pass from Schwartz at around about the centre half back position for the Demons. He looks for Jimmy Steins or Sean White. The thump away from McCartney at the back. Good punch away, taken by Sean White. Garry Lyon to Stephen Stretch, and they can set something up here, the Demons. A further hand pass to Brett Lovett from the centre square line, and there's a long kick. He didn't have a look. Damien Moncourse says thank you very much. He gets a hand pass away to Gary Pert. Collingwood doing it pretty easy in defence. Hand pass again back to Pert from Moncourse. Away they go. Gary Pert running out of defence without much pressure from Jakovich. Further afield to Mickey McGuire. Bradrow in front, can't take the mark. Thumped away there by Graham Yates. Andy Lovell gets a hand pass away, looking for Keogh. He fumbles, and here's Bradrow almost. Can he keep it in play? Yes, no. The boundary umpire calling for a boundary throw in.
Oh, he was licking his chops, Bradrow. He was away with the football then. The boundary umpire blowing his whistle. And a throw-in will take place. Manson gets in front of Steins. Tony Shaw just gets his foot to the ball. Shane Morwood, a top effort. And it's been paid. Morwood will take the kick about 80 metres from the Collingwood goal. He looks to play on. He does so now. Kicks it in towards centre-half forward. Rocker out in front of his face. Couldn't quite control it. Collingwood mess it up a little bit at centre-half forward. Brett Lovett messed it up, but got his kick away. Out towards the wing. Stretches little kick off the ground, not bad. Lyon nearly run down there by Williams, but the kick okay, and he finds Jakovich 50 metres from goal.
Probably too far out, I'd say, Robbo. He'll be kicking from about 55. Have to really give this a real torpedo. Doesn't get onto the kick, though.
Oh, Obst nearly had it. Moncourse away to Saunders. His kick is excellent for touch. Bounces away from Glenn Lovett and Mark Fraser. We'll have a boundary throw in that right forward pocket for Collingwood. The Magpies lead 45-32, and we're about 1/3 the way through the second quarter.
Garry Lyon, just a few words to Jakovich there, the Melbourne skipper. As Saunders takes the ball, he's tackled and thrown over the boundary line by Andrew Obst, but a free kick has been awarded there to Moncourse for that ruck infringement. And fortunately, the umpire calls that back, because that was a very ordinary hand pass from the big fella.
And when it's not a certainty, why hand pass?
No, that was the wrong decision completely there from Damien. Nevertheless, he gets another chance around the outer side of the ground. Morwood can't take the mark. At the back's Phoebe. Dacos starting to come into this match. A few touches to Peter Dacos. Didn't get a touch until this second quarter. Yates can't take the mark against Rowe. And the ball forced over the boundary line for another throw-in. So Collingwood with the advantage. 45 leading 32. It has been a good quarter for the Magpies. 10 points behind at quarter time, but they've found a bit of form in this second quarter.
Oh, Rose, lovely little hand pass has set McGuan up. Terrific shepherd. McGuan's in the pocket. McGuan nearly performed a miracle. 3 behinds to Michael McGuan, and already has had 10 possessions in the game, so one of the Brownlow medal favourites not doing his chances any damage at all at this stage in the proceedings, as Rode kicks into the far side. The kick is all right. Monkhorst plays the percentages and punches it back inside 50 metres, but Yates is there. His hand pass away to Steins. Good play by the Demons, and they get the ball out of the danger area. Brett Lovett's kick into the centre of the ground. Glenn Lovett. That kick was a beauty by Brett Lovett. In towards full foot. Pert. He really is a general today, Garry Pert, controlling that defence, and this kick is magnificent too. It was weighted to perfection for Jamie Turner. Turner looking to play on. Short kick finds Tony Shaw. In support is Saunders. Saunders goes long. Centre half forward, Morwood. Can't take the mark, but Francis roving it beautifully. Runs around Steins. Away goes Francis. 2 bounces, and then he slips as he throws his left foot at it, and it goes close to the boundary line in that back pocket as Glenn Lovett goes hard at the football, and a free kick has been picked out of it. It's going to the Melbourne player, and Tony Francis not too happy with that decision. But there's not much point in arguing, because the umpires very, very rarely, Bernie, change their decisions.
Well, I've never seen it, Robbo, unless something happens after the original infringement, as Melbourne relieves around the outer side of the ground. Keogh passes further afield to big Jimmy Steins. He's having a good battle with Damien Monkhorst in the ruck. So from half-back, Jimmy Steins goes long, but there's Monkhorst up very high, playing an aggressive game of football today. McCartney, he's caught. I think the umpire may bounce that one. He does. Said McCartney had no chance whatsoever, but a couple of the Melbourne forwards really need to lift their game. Jakovich and Bennett, they've stood around and watched Garry Pert just dominate things from that full-back line. Tony Shaw from the bounce down takes it out of the ruck. And Peter Rode, who's done a pretty good job on Dacos, around the corner, looking for the safety of the boundary line. It may stay in. It does. But eventually forced over the line before Russell could get his boot to the ball.
And a handy little bit of footwork there by Tony Shaw.
So the boundary throw in. Steins over the back. They've got that tap down. Taken by Richardson. Good tackle by Andrew Obst. And Collingwood pretty happy to see that one forced over the boundary line.
Saunders, the Collingwood defender. McCartney, Monkhorst, Garry Lyon preparing for the boundary throw-in. Monkhorst tries to get it to McCartney, but Turner is there. So is Keogh for Melbourne. Can't get clear of the pack. Monkhorst, his quick kick goes pretty well straight up in the air. Melbourne bash it back towards centre half forward. Tony Shaw leaves it behind. Obst looking for the hand pass. Lovell, good gather. Shaw ball handling. The pass, very good. Jakovich marks well within scoring distance.
Yes, well, this is what Jakovich must do. He must just continue to lead and present himself. If he tries to play Garry Pert body on body, he's got no chance whatsoever.
Alan Jakovich has kicked one, and he certainly will get the distance, barring any unforeseen circumstance. And his shot for goal is offline. Well, the Collingwood fans are ecstatic with that. They love rubbing salt into the wound out here at Victoria Park, and more so rubbing faces into the Merry Creek soil. They lead at the moment 46-33. We're halfway through the second term.
It's a good quarter by Collingwood. 4 goals, 2 to 3 behinds. They did trail by 10 points at the quarter time break. Taken by Tony Shaw from that kick in from Garry Pert. Paul Williams with pace. Breaks away. Delivers the ball into that Collingwood forward line. Dacos on the lead. Couldn't take the mark there. James Manson tidies up on the left boot. He did pretty well there, James Manson, to get his boot to that. Tony Francis there trying to make something happen for Collingwood. Eventually it sits okay for him, but he slips. Gets a hand pass away. Jimmy Steins cuts it off. And Rod Keogh eventually for the Demons. Clears the ball looking for Sean Charles out in front of Saunders. Good play by Sean Charles to Brett Lovett. And here's the lead again by Jakovich out in front. Could be a free kick, yes. A free kick against Garry Pert. No doubt about that. Jakovich couldn't take the mark. Garry Pert, that's a little bit too severe there, over the top. Could have been in the back or too high, it didn't matter. But Jakovich to take this kick at goal from probably about 45 metres. He missed his last chance, just missed to the left. He's kicked 1 goal, 1 for the afternoon, Alan Jakovich. Here's a kick just inside the 50-metre line. Very high kick, went for that extra bit of distance, and this time has missed to the right. And don't the Collingwood crowd love that? Alan Jakovich, not exactly the Collingwood crowd's favourite player.
Well, Collingwood inaccurate in the first quarter, kicked 2-8. Melbourne so far in the second quarter have kicked just 4 behinds. Garry Pert just a little undecided as to where to kick the football. His previous kick-in was a absolute ball burster, went right into the centre square, and this is not bad either. It goes to the point of the square, no mark taken. Chance here for Gary Lyon, Monkhorst, now Sean Wight. The bounce is good, he made it good. Little kick is good, and he teams up with his fellow Irishman Jimmy Steins, who has marked 50 metres from goal. The short pass is good as well, and Jakovich marks. Well, this is his 3rd shot for goal within 5 minutes, Alan Jakovich, so surely a bit of luck has to come his way at some stage.
Well, he's got those 3 kicks at goal too, Robbo, from being on the lead all the time. He hangs back and just waits for the easy one over the back. He's going to be beaten all day by Garry Pert.
You did mention that, and it's been good so far. His kick for goal this time looks okay. No. Well, he hung his head in shame, Alan Jakovich. He's kicked 1-3.
Well, 3 points in the last 2 minutes, Robbo. Alan Jakovich. He's already had 1 stint on the interchange bench. As Garry Pert prepares to bring this ball back into play. A good long kick from defence from Garry Pert, also looking for Damien Monkhorst. He couldn't take that mark. Andy Lovell bursts clear and gets a short pass away, but Monkhorst reading it beautifully, chipped in. Indirect play there from the Demon, so giving Monkhorst the opportunity to take that mark. He goes further afield, squares the ball and finds Richardson. Not gaining much meterage here, Collingwood, but a good mark in front taken by Mark Fraser in front of Rod Keogh. He's been very impressive this season, has young Mark Fraser, 21 years of age, playing in his 9th AFL game. From half-back, he kicks high into the forward line, and a good mark, Shane Morwood, one of the veterans of this Collingwood side. Hand passes further afield to Richardson. Good play out of defence by Collingwood. They've been able to set that up all day. Sean Wight goes for the thump away. This is Graham Yates. Stephen Stretch with the clearing kick. Around in front of the Collingwood Social Club. And just trickles over the boundary line in front of Jamie Turner.
And what a good kick by Stretch. He had no one in his team out there, and it just trickled over in front of the Collingwood players. High was Manson. Opportunity for Francis. Taps it into the path of Williams. Williams from the pocket. Handball over the top. What can they make out of this? McGuan. Lovell. Yates for Melbourne. Kick back towards the wing. Tough was Tony Shaw. Hard was Tony Shaw. Manson off the ground. Still in the Collingwood forward half, but not for much longer. Brett Lovett playing pretty well. He's had 15 possessions. He's kicked back towards centre half forward. And if it wasn't a mark, it certainly was a free kick to Damien Monkhorst.
Been a bit happening behind play too, Robbo, between Goodwin and the Magpie skipper Tony Shaw, the emergency umpire, out to say a few words.
A battle back here where the football is. Gary Lyon, Todd Viney, now Stretch, gathers it quite nicely. His kick up towards the 50-metre line, and Monkhorst takes a good mark. And he's going to give it to Gafer. Gafer's got Tony Shaw near the centre. Down goes Gafer. Shaw marks, and play goes on. The umpiring in favour of the player with the football. Tony Shaw, short kick. Richardson looks to play on and does. High kick. No one home for Collingwood, and Steins marks easily on the 50-metre line and transfers defence into attack very quickly. Schwartz on the end of a chain of hand passes.
Yes, he didn't look with that kick, Richardson, coming out of defence for Collingwood, but Monkhorst doing very nicely, getting back and really helping out Mickey Gafer and Garry Pert. And so that's 8 marks already to the big fellow Damien Monkhorst, doing well in the ruck. Further afield to Garry Pert, who's dominated that fullback position. And another player who has been very impressive, Severio Rocker, has kicked 3 goals for the Magpies. He's already had Marnie moved off him. He's off the ground. And David Schwartz now playing at fullback. McCartney. And passes looking for Dacos. Cut off here by Graham Yates. He's been pretty good in defence for the Demons. The kick around looking for Sean Charles. Bounces in front of him. Didn't really attack that ball and forced over the boundary line. Nothing much happening for Melbourne in this second quarter. It's been a very ordinary term for them. In fact, only 5 behinds. Collingwood has kicked for the quarter. 4-2. Boundary throw in. McCartney. Quick kick away. Brett Lovett. Just a little tap onto Sean Wight. Further afield looking for Melbourne skipper Garry Lyon. If it sits okay for him, he's a chance from 50 metres. Looking for Darren Bennett on the lead. Good play by the Melbourne skipper. He didn't blaze away. And Darren Bennett very quickly getting the kick away to Chris Sullivan on the ground for his first run. Now this should be a real opportunity for Melbourne to kick their first goal for this second quarter, with only 5 minutes, or just over 5 minutes remaining on the clock.
And McGuan coming off and Watson going on, so McGuan may have a few injury problems as well.
Well, he went into this game with a bit of a cloud over his fitness as Sullivan comes in from about 25 metres. Oh, shocking kick from Sullivan. And he's very lucky to score a behind at all. Only 25 metres. He should have made more of that. Chris Sullivan, the son of the former Melbourne half-back Tony Sullivan. The kick in coming from Gary Pert, marked there by Saunders. Away he goes.
Saunders' long kick towards the wing. Shane Maud leads his player underneath it, then tries to tap it on, but boundary line a little too close. And we'll have a throw in. Matthew Phoebe now looks as though he might have the job on Shane Maud. Andy Goodwin perhaps just a little too tall and maybe a little awkward. Tony Shaw's hand pass. Russell running. Handball is good. Shane Maud quickly. Yes, there's a player there. Williams into an open goal. No. Yes. And he probably should have given the hand pass. So he thought about it. I think he probably realises now, Paul Williams, that he did make the error in holding the football, and it was only could only manage in the finish behind a Collingwood. Monkhorst just worried out of it by Todd Viney. His kick is very good. Stretch. Handball over the top. Okay. Sean White now. His kick into the full forward line. Oh, Jakovich made it really good. And marks on his chest 45 metres out. Now, is he showing up just a deficiency in Gary Pert with the fact that he is leading?
Well, I think, Robbo, it makes it very difficult for a fullback. It doesn't matter who you are or how good you are if you're going to pass into the forward line like that to a leading full forward.
A wonderful kick by Jakovich. It's a goal. Well, he's had some fairly simple chances, and before that it kicked 3 behinds. He did kick a goal early on in the game, but then it kicked just 3 behinds in the second quarter until he kicked that one, which was his second goal, and Melbourne 6th. They trail by just 5 points.
Yes, well, much better there. He looked much more relaxed going back for that kick when he was about 50 metres out. A little bit happening behind play between Jakovich and Gary Pert. I don't think Purdy would be too worried about that. A bounce down. Monkhorst gets that tap away. Tony Shaw takes it, but he's tackled immediately by Andy Lovell. May have been held on for too long, and the umpire sees it that way. The South Australian umpire, Michael Abbott.
So whose kick is it?
So Tony Shaw.
Well, that should be 50 metres because the Melbourne player kicked it well down into the Collingwood forward line, or the Melbourne forward line, and the free kick was given.
Anyway, it's Tony Shaw taking the free kick, centre of the ground. Goes directly down the ground, and Glenn Lovett just propping there in front, filling up the gaps there, taking a very simple chest mark. Jimmy Steins, well, Jimmy, you must shepherd if you give the hand pass off like that. There's a hand pass again coming, setting up these Melbourne players. Are in all sorts of trouble here as Dacos chips in. We'll see something magical here. Good hip and shoulder there by Sean White on Dacos. Oh, Dacos tried to even up there on Sean White. Taken by Peter Rode. A long kick into the forward line. Jakovich on the lead again. He's looked much better when he's been leading, but Gary Pert this time was tapping the ball in front of him and over the boundary line. It was a pretty good hip and shoulder there by Sean White on Dacos. Dacos didn't appreciate it.
Well, I suppose you really have to do it if it's there, don't you? And,
certainly.
If you don't do anything illegal, well, the umpire can do nothing else but call play on. Away goes Richardson. His kick has been well marked by Shane Maud. He's having a good day. He's had 5, this is his 5th kick coming up, 4 marks and 7 hand passes, and been quite creative across the half-forward line for Collingwood. But the Magpies, after kicking 4 goals early in this second term, have failed to add to that goal tally in the last 10 or 12 minutes. We've only got 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Schwartz and Yates combine across half-back. Yates' kick is quite accurate, and Garry Lyon marks just behind centre wing. Melbourne 6-6 trail Collingwood 6-11. Garry Lyon beckoning to players to lead up the ground to give him something to kick to. He's forced to go long and high. Tony Shaw, handball away. Fraser in turn. Saunders, the bounce awkward. Tony Shaw working very hard. Look, just crashes his way through. Only one thing wrong with Tony Shaw, and we all know that his kicking just lacks a little bit of penetration, but you never doubt his application. Matthew Phoebe. Peter Rowe, the hand pass a little too high. Brad Rowe dragged to the ground, was it too high? Garry Lyon, that's the way the umpire sees it.
Well, the hand pass there, ordinary skills there from Melbourne, coming out of defence, just a little bit too far for Peter Rowe. He couldn't take it, and setting it up there for that free kick awarded against Garry Lyon. 1.5 minutes remaining on the clock in this second quarter. Brad Rowe short, finding Tony Shaw. May have been meant for Scotty Russell. In the end, it ends up with him coming from Tony Shaw. A short pass looking for Damien Longhurst, but chipping in is Sean Wight. He moves on quickly. Sullivan, oh, good courage there shown by Stephen Stretch, going back with the flight of the ball. Lovell cleans up into the centre of the ground. Big Jimmy Steins, and looking for Jakovich out on the lead again. He's given Gary Pert a few problems in this second quarter when he has been leading. And he's tried to outbody Gary Pert. He's had no chance, but Alan Jakovich, he's kicked 2 goals, 3. Coming in from just outside the 50-metre line. Gary Pert just putting a little bit of uncertainty in his mind there. He's good at that, Gary Pert. Just
I think Alan Jakovich, Bernie, when he takes the mark, turns his back on the play and therefore doesn't realise where the man on the mark really is.
Exactly. Jakovich from 52 metres, long and high. And I think he's kicked it. Yes, Jakovich's 3rd goal, Melbourne's 7th. So it's Collingwood 6-11-47. Now trailing Melbourne 7-6-48. Jakovich pretty good in this quarter. Plenty to say. There's plenty to say to Gary Pert when he kicked that goal.
It's all right when you've kicked the goal. You can say plenty, but at this stage, he probably has taken the points. He's had 6 scoring shots to kick 3 goals, 3. So play restarted back in the centre. Battle here for possession. Glenn Lovett's tap on. Saunders under a little bit of pressure, held by Charles, but gets his kick away. Out towards the wing, Road gives away a little bit of ground. Hand pass to Yates. Yates to Charles. Melbourne have got the open spaces on that outer side. Charles kick into the pocket. Steins. Great effort by the big man. He got down and took the mark on his chest, and the siren sounds. It is half-time, and the only thing that can change here is Melbourne's lead. At the moment, it's 1 point, and Steins has the opportunity to extend that. It's a very difficult shot. He's got to kick the ball in excess of 45 metres to get the distance, but he's right up against the boundary line on that far side of the ground. A fairly blustery breeze has been blowing. We feel to the advantage of Jimmy Steins. And he floats it into the square. Bennett tries to score for Melbourne. Is that registered?
No, not once the ball's touched, Robbo.
So the score will stand as it is. Melbourne 7-6-48. Lead Collingwood 6-11-47 at half-time. Third quarter about to start here at Victoria Park. Melbourne have a 1-point advantage. They lead 48-47. The leading goal scorers on the ground. Alan Jakovich has kicked 3 and Rocker has kicked 3 for Collingwood. Real struggle for possession near the centre of the ground. Goodwin tackled. Francis off the ground. Yates gathers it nicely. Hand pass to Steins. He's able to find some space for himself. A short kick. Nearly taken by Charles. Picked up by Sean Wight. His kick into the full forward area, marked by Jakovich.
Oh, that was a beautiful kick from Sean Wight, Robbo. He read that beautifully. Didn't go for too much, just placed it out in front of Jakovich. And Jakovich has been much better since he's been leading against Garry Pert.
Well, this kick will test Alan Jakovich. He's got a kick at 45 metres, straight back into the breeze. It's right on the goal line. It may have been touched. It's close. It's a goal. Great kick by Jakovich. He's now kicked 4, and Melbourne lead by 7 points.
Well, he was taken from the ground in that first quarter, Jakovich. After some pretty undisciplined play, he's now being picked up by Michael Gayfer. Garry Pert has the job on Darren Bennett, and from halfway through that second quarter, Jakovich really got on top of Garry Pert. Had plenty of chances to kick goals. He's kicked 4 goals, 3. So umpire Russo to put the ball down in the centre. Monkhorst doing pretty well up against Jimmy Steins. Again, Monkhorst wins the tap down. Tony Shaw, he's been in everything. This time it's taken by Sullivan. A short pass away. Not a good kick there, looking for Bennett. Probably too short, but look at the pace of this player. Charles, well tackled by Saunders. Play on's the call. The kick off the ground. Gayfer attacks the ball. Jakovich waiting back for that one to come over the back. But only as far as Andy Lovell. Andy Lovell kicking into a very crowded Melbourne forward line. A little bit unsure. Nothing happening in the forward line. No movement. Eventually goes long. Looking for Jakovich, using his body on Gayfer. Gayfer knocks it to the ground, taken by Monkhorst out of Collingwood's defence. Around the outer side of the ground, goes very high, and it beats both players, Stretch and Williams, over the boundary line.
And Darren Bennett with the now famous gloves, which one wonders whether they're of some assistance, but they're becoming quite familiar now with the players. Monkhorst doing well in the ruck. Hand pass, Lovell. His kick in towards centre half forward. The gather by Bennett was good, and he got around very nicely. His kick nearly chopped off by Richardson, but gathered by Sullivan. His kick across his body, he didn't quite hook it far enough, and it's through for another behind to Chris Sullivan and the Melbourne side. Melbourne 8-7, lead Collingwood 6-11. The difference now is 8 points. Melbourne in the first quarter, going to this same end, were able to kick 5 goals straight. Collingwood going to the left-hand end, kicked 2 goals 8. Kick in towards Tony Shaw. Watson hard at the football. Todd Viney taken away by Rowe. He's caught. Eventually the ball comes back near Todd Viney. Can't quite control it. The umpire finds a free kick in the finish, and it will go to the Melbourne player Todd Viney. He's had the job tagging Tony Francis. His kick is very ordinary. Fraser will turn this over. Long kick into the goal square. Rocker punched away by Schwartz. Dacos falls over. He's still got the football underneath. Somehow got it out. Punched away by Matthew Phoebe close to the boundary line. Rocker can't quite hold it in. Close to the line. Matthew Phoebe goes over with it eventually. And they'll have a boundary thrown in the right forward pocket for the Magpies. They trail 6-11. Melbourne 8-7.
Steins up against James Manson. Manson in front. A quick kick away coming from Williams. Doesn't cover much distance there. Taken very nicely by Shane Moore. It is a chance for the Magpies, but just over the line for one behind before Schwartz or Rocker could make anything of it. So it's Melbourne leading by 7 points. The kick out coming from Schwartz to Steins. Oh, Jimmy Steins, you should have marked that one. Had a big chance. Only had to beat Dacos for height. Taken away by Peter Rode. Almost a good mark there by Richardson. Sullivan. Great tackle there by Richardson, nearly forcing it over the boundary line. Play on's the call. Watson, the late inclusion in the side for Starcevich. Brett Lovett waiting for the umpire's whistle, and Watson.
They all were just here, Bernie.
Oh, Watson just playing the ball and getting the kick away into that forward line. Brett Lovett looking back at the umpire. And eventually it's Morwood taking the mark on a very tight angle.
Well, there was no sound of a whistle, so they couldn't have misunderstood.
Morwood improving his angle, trying to screw it around his body. But where are the Melbourne defenders? Goodness. Severio, Rocker. Yeah, it must be his birthday today. Gave him so much space there to take that mark. He also on a very tight angle from the other side of the ground. Rocker has already kicked 3, improving his angle, going for the banana kick. And he has missed. So one behind to the Magpies. Pretty inaccurate kicking from Collingwood. Melbourne leading 8-7, 55. Collingwood 6-13-49.
Last week they did the same thing, Collingwood, against Essendon in that Friday night game. They kicked something like 20 behinds, I think it was, 10 goals, 23. Essendon 8-13. So the Magpies not accurate at all. The ball back near the centre. Monkhorst, Obst, Francis. Well done, Tony Francis, to break that tag. McCartney, his kick. Oh, Rocker's got it. Judged it a little bit better, although the kick coming in from McCartney was a good one, had terrific penetration on it, and it gave Rocker every opportunity back there in the goal square, and he's marked it within point-blank range here. His chance to kick his 4th goal.
Well, it's a pity that Schwartz has had to be moved to defence, Robbo, because he's very constructive around half forward for the Demons.
Rocker's shot is good. So Rocker's kick 4. Jakovich's kick 4 for Melbourne. Scores a level here at Victoria Park with 20 minutes left in the 3rd term.
It's good play by the big Collingwood full forward. He's now kicked 22 goals for the season in this, his 6th game for the Magpies. But as I said, Marnie, who had the job on Rocker at the start, was taken from the ground after Rocker had given him all sorts of trouble at the start. And he's been on the bench since then. Schwartz was taken from half forward to play on Rocker. And really you leave a big gap at half forward because Schwartz is a pretty exciting type player, a good high mark. He moves around well, but now he's in a defensive role on Rocker. So the bounce down again in the centre. Monkhorst doing pretty well against Stynes. This time it's Stynes getting that tap down. Garry Lyon. Jamie Turner eventually with a quick kick around his body. And Brad Rowe taking an easy chest mark out in front of Graham Yates. He moves the ball on pretty quickly. Looking again for Manson or Rocker. Thumped away by Schwartz. Morwood and Rocker. Yes, another goal to the Magpies. Good play by the young full forward. So Collingwood strike back. 8-13-61 Melbourne, 8-7-55. It's the Magpies by 6 points here at Victoria Park.
And Rocker, from just 9 kicks, has kicked 5 goals, 3, and he certainly is a focal point for Collingwood. We mentioned earlier, just 18 years of age, 193 centimetres, and a very promising player for the Magpies.
And that's the second ball that's gone astray, Robbo.
I was going to say, Bernie, if you're an enterprising young man here at Victoria Park and the wind was blowing down to that left-hand end, you'd have to stay outside the ground because you'd finish up with 3 footballs every week.
And that's with the net at the back of the goals as well. Rocker, the first one going over the top. I think that one may have gone underneath.
So the Sherrans going astray down at that left-hand end here at Victoria Park. Collingwood lead by 6 points, 2 quick goals. They've wrested the lead away. Stretch. Now a chance for Obst. His kick has been smothered well by Scott Russell. Gathered by Lyon. He's dragged to the ground. No free kick. Williams, Richardson, Tony Shaw's little tap into the path of Russell was excellent football. Scott Russell back onto the right foot. Kick towards centre foot. Shane Morwood has marked. Plays on. Can kick with the left. Short kick. Oh, he really should have kicked it with a little bit more strength. It's been marked by Rode right on that 10-metre square.
Robbo, Tony Shaw in trouble behind play after a very heavy tackle at the centre of the ground.
Melbourne may get out of trouble. Yates' handball to Rode. Rhodes' quick kick out towards half-back. Chance here for Garry Lyon. Sweeping hand pass for Sean White. He's tackled by Turner. Goes over the line. Boundary throw-in will take place.
Yes, it wasn't a good hand pass. Sean White had a prop and wait for that one. A boundary throw in. There's Tony Shaw. He's been in the hands of the trainers. He doesn't look all that good, Tony Shaw. These two have been at it all day, Monkhorst and Stynes. Monkhorst winning this one again. They're leading well in the tap-outs. And Tony Shaw. Tony Francis on that one. Just running it over the boundary line for another boundary throw-in. But Damien Monkhorst, the hit-out's 18-9 in favour of Collingwood. He's really been very aggressive at the ball in those centre bounces.
There's a compliment to Todd Viney. Tony Francis, just 7 possessions.
Yes, pretty quiet. James Manson winning that tap down to Williams. Around his body, trying to screw it back, but only managing to kick it out of bounds on the full.
The treasurer at Collingwood having a keen look at the supporters there. Please throw the footy back, he screamed. Stephen Stretch at left half back for Melbourne. Good kick by that player in towards the centre. Monkhorst can't mark. Glenn Lovett just gets his foot to the ball. It's marked by Turner. It hasn't gone far enough. He's able to get it out of there, but only to Steins. His kick surely marked by Lyon.
Oh, no.
But the advantage is with Melbourne. If Charles can control the football, which he can't. Very good work there by Fraser. Saunders and Collingwood out of trouble. Mark is taken by Richardson. His kick goes wider still. And the diving player out there looked as though it may have been Williams. Couldn't quite take the mark. It was Turner, in fact. And a boundary throw in will take place just in front of the wing in Melbourne's forward half. Monkhorst at the back. Lovell grabbed with the football too high, says umpire Russo. And Andy Lovell will take the free kick for Melbourne.
It's the initial tackle too high there on Andy Lovell. He plays on. Goes directly towards the goal face. Garry Lyon up against McCartney. He can't take the mark. The young bloke doing pretty good on Garry Lyon. Sullivan, who started the game on the interchange, around his body. And I think he's kicked it. Yes, great goal, Sullivan. So Melbourne 9-7-55. Make that 61. And they're level with Collingwood 8-13-61. The scoreboard pretty slow to change here, Robbo, with these old hand ones. We haven't got the modern stuff at the MCG or Waverley at Victoria Park.
Chris Sullivan kicks his first goal and scores level here at Victoria Park. The ruck contest. Steins hard at the football. Lovell can't get through. Scott Russell a little tap on. A free kick has been picked out of it. It may go to the Collingwood captain. No, it looks as though it could be going to Tony Francis, who may have been held when he didn't have the football in that scuffle near the centre circle. Good kick by Francis. 50 metres. No mark taken. Dacos just out of sorts. Rode. Schwartz. Tackled well by Rowe. Ball runs free. Goodwin's handball. Steins. Over the top, Glenn Lovett. Quickly. Centre half forward marking contest. Bennett. Nearly beaten for it by Pert. Charles probably should have put his hands down to grab that. Richardson, little kick, okay. Tony Shaw marks just forward of centre half back. Away to McCartney. Don't take too many risks, son. Tony Francis, quickly up towards full forward. Rocker, no. Just out of it by Schwartz, and Schwartz will clear for Melbourne. Goes wide to Yates. Yates in turn finds Stretch. Stretch's long kick up towards half forward. Richardson very experienced there on young Sullivan. Ball rebounds to Lovell. Lovell's handball over the top to Sean White. Sean White's kick. Jakovich in front. Waited for the bouncing ball. The Collingwood defence rather. Now under pressure. Charles, but look at Monkhorst for a big man. Did excellently and got the ball to Tony Shaw, who could have played on, but he gathered the advantage of the umpire.
Yes, terrific stuff from Monkhorst out of defence. He's helped out there all day. Manson in front could have been interfered with. No. Mark Fraser with his pace gets around Jimmy Steins very easily. And from about 40 metres out, set side. And a great goal, Mark Fraser. Terrific goal.
Well, goal of the day so far, Bernie. With 14 minutes left in the third term, Collingwood lead by that goal kicked by Fraser.
Yes, his first for the afternoon, but terrific setup there. James Manson competing well. He's being picked up by Andy Goodwin. A good contest there around about the half-forward line, and cleaning up Mark Fraser with his pace. Terrific. So Monkhorst up in the ruck. He gets a tap down, but I think there's a free kick. And it's going to Monkhorst. Well, I didn't see what that was for, Robbo.
What the Dickens for? His path wasn't impeded. He got the knockout. Everything was in his favour.
Yes, anyway, gets a hand pass to Russell and Morwood. Pretty creative across half forward today, Shane Morwood, up against Matthew Phoebe.
And I would reckon, just looking at those two players, that Shane Morwood would have a height advantage. He's 191 centimetres. Matthew Phoebe 185. And Melbourne just missing out a little bit. Matthew Phoebe's got great determination, but Shane Morwood just a little bit taller and has perhaps just an added advantage in finesse.
So Morwood a chance to put Collingwood 2 goals in front, and a very accurate kick. Another goal to Collingwood. Collingwood 10 goals 13. 73 lead Melbourne 9-7. 61. Things starting to happen for Collingwood in this third quarter. A good goal, good mark and a good kick there from Shane Morwood.
Well, he's always been an excellent player with fine skill, Shane Morwood. He's had 16 possessions, taken 7 marks. Umpire Russo bounces, Steins up high. Attempted kick off the ground by Shaw, taken by Lovell, kicked up to the 50-metre line. Gathered by McCartney. Gee, strong, that young man. Saunders trying to crash his way through. Obst, little kick. He saw Charles, but the kick, really, the bounce didn't favour the youngster. And away goes Garry Pert, back near the centre. Watson summed it up reasonably. Matthew Phoebe, beaten for it by Shane Morwood. Handball, back towards Francis. Lovely little hand pass for McCartney. Collingwood steamrolling now towards goal. Turner's kick, excellent. Williams marks. There's 3 players to 1 at half forward. He spotted one of them, it's Russell. And Russell marks about 45, maybe a little closer, 40 metres from the Collingwood goal.
There's Collingwood able to get that loose man going there out of defence. And set that up beautifully. All they had to do was look further afield. There were loose players running everywhere.
Well, that's the advantage of moving it quickly, isn't it? The surge forward was so good. And now Russell, kick number 15 coming up for Scott Russell. He's kicked 2. Oh, it's a lovely kick. He's kicked 3. 3 goals to Scott Russell in a ruck roving capacity. He's played quite a bit of his football this year running out of defence. But gee, looks a better player on ball for Collingwood. He's had 18 possessions and Collingwood now lead by 18 points.
So Sean White off for Melbourne and Rod Keogh back on. All of a sudden Collingwood with a bit of a spurt on here. 1 point down at half time. Now leading by 18 points. There's Keogh, the player, back on the ground for Melbourne, taking it out of the centre. A hurried kick into the forward line. McCartney leads Lyon in the race for the ball. Good tackle there from Garry Lyon. And the ball forced over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. Around about 50 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Monkhorst, he's done a good job against Bennett here today. He's also he's beaten Jimmy Steins pretty well in the ruck. McCartney, the quick kick around his body, taken by Bennett. The left footer into the forward line, and the free kick given against Jakovich. And the Magpie supporters love that. Alan Jakovich, not the most popular player here. A hurried kick out of defence by Sullivan. Andrew Obst leads in the race for the ball against Scotty Russell. And just forced over the boundary line. Mark Fraser and Glenn Lovett. A pretty good contest here, Robbo, hasn't it? Up until half-time, we saw a pretty determined Melbourne side in that first quarter.
I still wouldn't go for a winner.
No, it's still pretty even. Monkhorst again getting that tap out. Francis at the bottom of the pack, as he always is. And the umpire coming into effect another bounce.
In a score of 11-13 to 9-7. Well, there's only 3 kicks in it. And Melbourne have shown us already in this match that they're capable of kicking 2 quick goals. It's right on the 50-metre line, Melbourne's half-forward line. A big punch by Bennett. Lovell runs onto it, but then eventually left it behind. Richardson away to Tony Shaw, and the Collingwood captain, 25th possession coming up. Away to Pert. Pert shrugs the Obst tackle, nearly gave it off to Tony Shaw, then the kick ordinary. Manson, look at Williams. Pace, handball over the top, lovely. Russell, left foot. No, just misses. Gee, it was another good build-up by the Magpies. And Scott Russell, 3 goals too.
Things going the Magpies' way at the moment though, Robbo, with Peter Road kicking in for the Demons. Jimmy Steins able to find some space there at half-back. Feeds it off to Brett Lovett. Around the other side of the ground, Sullivan just bounces short of him. And it'll probably be forced over the boundary line by Richardson in front of Andrew Obst. And Garry Pert's also provided plenty of run out of that back line. It's something that the Melbourne forwards really must pick up on. Bennett and Jakovich in that first half. Garry Pert certainly provides a lot of options out of the back line. This time it's Pert over the top getting the knock away. Taken by Garry Lyon to Sullivan. A quick kick into that forward line. Sean Charles And Jason McCartney playing at centre-half back. He's caught, held onto it for a long time, taken by Charles, looking for Jakovich. It dropped short of Jakovich out in front of Gaffer. If he can control this, he may be a chance, Jakovich. Oh, he's just blazed away and kicked out of bounds on the full. So Jakovich, not a good effort there. I could have made more of that, Robbo.
You see the top players in the very, very good sides. In a situation like that, they try to centre the ball to give their forwards some sort of a chance of maybe converting. But
well, at times you can kick the miraculous goal from positions like that, but the percentage play is always to go for the centering kick. And Bennett's off the ground for Melbourne. He's been taken off. He's been very quiet. Darren Bennett. Marnie back on for the Demons.
Fraser, a quick kick up near the wing. Brett Lovett overruns it. Brad Rowe runs onto it. Bounce favoured that player. The kick is excellent. Oh, Morwood keeps his footing. Matthew Phoebe fell over, and Shane Morwood, well, Paul Williams making position to his right. Shane Morwood misses and kicks his second behind. 11:15 to 9-7. Collingwood close to forming the score to which they kicked against Essendon about 9 days ago. Schwartz runs away from half back. Kick in towards the centre. It goes straight through Obst. Sullivan near the centre circle. Kicks Melbourne over half forward. Matthew Marnie marks. Looks to get the hand pass away, but plays on quickly. The pass. Jakovich can't mark. Recovery is good. Can he get his kick away? He does. And he has kicked the goal. Well done, Alan Jakovich, who gives the Collingwood players the thumbs up sign. And he's registered Melbourne's 10th goal, but the Demons still trail by 14 points.
Well, not a bad performance, I suppose, statistically by Jakovich. He's kicked 5 goals, 3. And some pretty easy chances in that second quarter to convert. Really did miss some sitters in that second quarter, but 5 goals and had Garry Pert move from him. The bounce down. Monkhorst has done a pretty good job in the ruck today for Collingwood. Tony Shaw appealing for the free kick, not awarded. Tony Francis burrowing in as he always does. That's Andy Lovell getting the hand pass away to Marnie. Sean Charles trying to get a kick away, and eventually Tony Francis with the hurried kick finds Monkhorst in the centre of the ground. He plays on quickly, and Williams making good position. Takes that check mark about 60 metres out from the Collingwood goal, and the short pass. Morwood's been in everything this quarter, getting away from Matthew Phoebe. Maybe just a little bit too far out, maybe kicking from about 50, 52 metres. He looks as if he fancies his chances. The wind probably favouring the end to which he's kicking, although the windsock really pointing to the outer side of the ground as he comes in 50 metres from goal. It's a good kick off the boot, but oh, terrific mark. Schwartz up very high and early.
Promising young player for Melbourne, David Schwartz.
Yes, he's played every game for the Demons in 1992, along with Jimmy Steins, the only other player to do so. As Morwood comes out and takes another mark across half forward. Russell's on if he wants to square the ball, but no. It's taking a long time, Shane Morwood, going back.
No one leading.
Nothing happening. He's too far out to kick a goal from there. He's really waiting for a lead to come from the forwards. Rocker now starting to make a move. And look at Monkhorst. He's back there by himself. He unloads with a big torpedo. A terrific kick from Morwood. Another goal to the Magpies. 2 goals to Shane Morwood. Collingwood 12-15-87. A 20-point advantage over Melbourne. 10-7-67.
I think if Shane Morwood ever backed a 100-to-1 winner, the expression on his face still wouldn't change. He just looks so relaxed. And that kick was a magnificent torpedo punt kick.
Yeah, the move's been made there, Robbo. Stretches now onto Morwood.
And not before time. I don't doubt Matthew Phoebe's determination, but a very difficult job to contain the half-forward, Collingwood half-forward. Here's some risky business going on for Collingwood in their last line of defence, and it results in the pressure on those defenders, kicking the ball back, and Matthew Marnie is marked about 50 metres from goal. Now he can kick the football, Matthew Marnie, so I'd give him some chance of scoring from here. Kicks the drop punt, close to the line. I think it's hit the post. It has. So another behind to Melbourne, kicked by Matthew Marnie. 10-8 plays 12-15. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Leading goal scorers, Alan Jakovich has kicked 5 for Melbourne. Rocker has kicked 5 for Collingwood, and Scott Russell has kicked 3 for the Magpies. Garry Pert decides on the far side of the ground. Williams underneath it. Ball to the back. Steins. Good shepherd by Matthew Phoebe. Steins to Obst. Back to the big fellow. Awkward for him though. Under pressure. Keogh is going to lose his pants. Obst is going to lose the ball.
Yeah, it's an ordinary hand pass out there. A couple of ordinary hand passes from Melbourne has really let them down in this game, Robbo.
Another good performance by Richardson, who tackled Keogh, and his kick taken by Montfort. Player on his own here, Manson. She's got an acre. Kick up to the 50-metre line, pretty ordinary. Brad Rowe recovers, bundled off the football, went in after it again. Williams, kick off the ground, stretch. Manson trying, gets his foot to the ball, up towards Dacos. Goes over in front of Dacos and Peter Road for a boundary throw in about 15, maybe 25 metres around from the Collingwood goal. Magpies lead 87-68.
Boundary throw in. James Manson doing the ruck work for the Magpies. Over the top is Andy Goodwin, but only as far as Tony Shaw, and I think he may have threaded it through. He has. A great goal from the Melbourne skipper. 13-15-93. That lead out even further now. Melbourne 10-8-68. Magnificent stuff by the Collingwood captain there on his wrong foot. A natural left footer, of course. He got on onto his right boot very quickly, Tony Shaw. He was in the hands of the trainers earlier in this quarter, and it looked as if he may have been taken from the ground, but he's recovered okay. And a real captain's goal there for Collingwood.
Well, he's a hard nut, that Tony Shaw, and he kicked a magnificent goal then. Taken away by Pert. Kicks it out towards the wing where Williams is marked. He's starting to come into the play. 17 possessions for Paul Williams. Doesn't get past Obst. Well done, Andrew Obst. Sets it up for Keogh. Handball Sullivan. Keep going further ahead to Charles. He does. Charles kick into the centre. Maybe broken down by Francis. Little bit of pressure was good. Steins, no. Shaw. Tap on. Russell. Little tap by Pert. Handball Francis. Awkward one. And Viney. Well, I don't think Mark Fraser was going to go too far. Todd Viney effecting a very good tackle on the Collingwood player. 13-15-93 the Magpies, 10-8-68. Melbourne, 2 3/4 minutes left in the term. Chance for Richardson. He marks and plays on quickly. Kicks it into the pocket. And Watson takes a good mark in front of Brett Lovett. Watson, who played quite a few games for Collingwood earlier on in the season, but found it a little bit difficult to hold his place. Now back in the Collingwood lineup close to finals time. He'll be wanting to impress. His kick has been marked by Manson. And the umpire, gee, you make it hard for Jimmy Manson. He's not the best kick at any time, but he's put him right on the boundary line, nearly up against the fence. And he's got to kick the ball 50 metres.
You can write your own ticket about this one, Robbo.
I'll have 3 bob on it.
Okay.
Manson's kick. Oh, Schwartz, a good mark.
Gee, it wasn't a bad kick from Manson, though, was it?
He loves kicking goals, Jimmy Manson. Schwartz will defend for Melbourne.
In a big quarter by Collingwood, 7 goals 4. Melbourne has kicked 3 goals 2. Keogh almost in trouble. Jimmy Steins playing more as a ruck rover today. Andy Lovell. He's tackled very quickly by Watson. Glenn Lovett, they're in all sorts of trouble too. Terrific stuff, Watson. Put his body in over the ball. Lovell, you're caught again. Great defensive work by the Magpies. And this could be tied up. Jamie Turner, Andy Lovell. Nothing much happening here. The umpire surely must bounce this.
I'll tell you what, there's one thing there. If you just watch that passage of play, there's no place for faint hearts. There was some good, fierce tackling. Every player having a fair dinkum go at the football.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Robbo. Collingwood players really tied that up. Worked hard to keep the ball in the forward zone. Up they go again. Jimmy Steins gets the tap down. Taken away this time by Keogh. He's looking for Jakovich on the lead. Good lead by Jakovich. Very good kick from Rod Keogh. And Jakovich, well, he's been a pretty damaging player for Melbourne on that forward line. He had Garry Pert moved off him after half-time. Jakovich has kicked 5 goals, 3. He's kicked from about 40 metres out, directly in front. Good-looking kick from Jakovich, and it's another goal. The 6th goal to the Melbourne full forward. Collingwood 13-15-93. They hold a 19-point advantage over Melbourne, 11-8-74. Jakovich has led pretty well. He was holding back in that first half against Garry Pert. When he decided to start leading, he got his game into focus, and away he went. 6 goals, 3 has been a pretty good performance up against Michael Gayfer in this third quarter, and 26 seconds remaining on the clock.
Well, only 12 kicks to Jakovich, but 6 goals, 3 has been a very good afternoon's work. Close to three-quarter time, Collingwood lead by 19 points. One wonders whether they need a bigger lead. Brett Lovett kicks it back towards half forward. No mark taken. A free kick has been picked out of it. It's going to Obst. And Melbourne looking for the advantage, but it's not going to be paid. Umpire Russo indicating that the ball has to go back to Andrew Obst.
There's time on call here, Robbo, so 12 seconds remaining on the clock. Obst really looking for a mark in this Melbourne forward line.
Bit of a dust-up just off the football there between Chris Sullivan and Paul Williams, 2 of the youngsters. Obst kick into the pocket. Oh, that's a free kick, surely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jakovich.
Well, a free kick will do. So he needed a mark or a free kick. The latter is forthcoming. Jakovich well held there by Michael Gayfer. An obvious free kick as the umpire.
And that dust-up back near the centre between Sullivan and Williams has resulted in about 10 players now in a wrestling and pushing and shoving match.
Well, pretty untidy sort of stuff this, but nothing really happening.
Well, this will be the last kick of the quarter. Jakovich, who's kicked 6 goals, 3. There's the siren. So Collingwood's score will remain at 13-15-93. We just await the result of this Jakovich shot for goal. And he's put it through for Melbourne's 12th goal. So at three-quarter time, Collingwood lead 13-15-93. Melbourne 12-8-80.
To remind all patrons to wait for the second siren before going onto the ground after today's game. Now the Collingwood Club raffle for today, the lucky winner.
Well, that makes it interesting, doesn't it?
Ticket 34670. The number is up on the scoreboard now. 34670. And the winner can select the prize from Marilyn Cook at the Public Relations Office, which is under.
Plenty of action here at Victoria Park. Alan Jakovich with 6 goals. Melbourne trail by 13 points. Here we go, the last term, and Collingwood kicking into the face of the breeze. Melbourne to the left-hand end. Chance for Williams, gets it to Tony Shaw. Tony Shaw's kick up to half forward, and it's been marked by Yates.
Only as far as Yates, and Yates gets it quickly off to Stretch, looking further afield, finding Glenn Lovett out of sight of the ground. Half back for Melbourne. Away he goes, onto the left boot, looking for Obst. Good mark from Andrew Obst. He plays on quickly. The Demons with a little bit of momentum here. 2 late goals coming in time on from Jakovich, after Collingwood had been 25 points up at the 27-minute mark. But Garry Pert now with the job back on Jakovich. Michael Gayfer had that task in the third quarter.
I think I'd stay with Garry Pert, Bernie.
Well,
it's
I'm with you, Robbo.
Job.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. The boundary throw in. Probably a bounce down will come out of this. So desperate football coming in this last quarter. Monkhorst has done pretty well in the ruck for Collingwood. 21 hit-outs to the Magpies, 12 hit-outs to the Demons. Been pretty aggressive around the centre square especially. Big Damien Monkhorst up against Marnie, takes it out of the ruck. Andrew Obst, and we will see another bounce down.
Would you place any importance on the fact that Collingwood have received 27 free kicks to 15?
Just looking at the game, I wouldn't have known the margin was so great in favour of Collingwood, Robbo.
Well, they
I
were
wouldn't have
giving,
picked it.
Collingwood fans were giving ironical cheers earlier in the game in the second quarter when Monkhorst received a couple of free kicks, and even then we saw that it was well in favour of the Magpies. Boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Melbourne. Todd Viney, Tony Francis maybe a little overzealous there with his tackle, but the field umpire gives the all clear for a boundary throw in. Just a little closer to the Melbourne goal. Demons trail by 13 points. They need a goal here to give them some impetus to start this last term. Sullivan dragged off the football. Chance for Obst. Lovely little handball for Todd Viney. His kick is good, and it finds Garry Lyon, and a set shot for goal for the Melbourne skipper. Very good player over a decent period of time has been Garry Lyon. Just reasonable stats, but there's a lot of things this player does maybe aren't measured in terms of statistics. Lyon shot for goal. It is a beautiful kick. It's a goal. It's just what Melbourne wanted at the start of the last term. He's pretty happy with himself. So is Obst, so is Marnie. Melbourne trail by just 7 points.
Well, they should be pretty happy after that kick. And no coincidence, Melbourne's form has improved since Garry Lyon's been back in this Melbourne side playing at centre half forward. He missed 6 games through injury. Being captain in 91 and 92. And Melbourne's still a pretty competitive unit once their best 20 can be selected from and playing on the field. So it's pretty close here at Victoria Park. Jimmy Stein's going against Monkhorst again. Umpire Russo bounces the ball. The bounce favours Steins, quickly onto the left boot, around his body. Charles, good mark. Used his body well to fend off Saunders. Moves the ball on quickly, looking for Jakovich. Not a good kick. Jakovich using his body against Pert. Holds him off pretty well. Gary Pert tackling. I think Jakovich may have been in possession, then let that ball go. The umpire says play on. And the ball forced over the boundary line for a throw-in. So about 40 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Melbourne doing most of the attacking at the start of this last quarter, and they trail by 7 points. Obst over the back, couldn't take it out of the air, taken by Richardson. Monkhorst gets around Jimmy Steins. Played a pretty good game, the big Collingwood ruckman. Watson can't take the mark. Punched away by Lovett. Good tackle by Lovett in the end. Watson with a left-hand hand pass. Rowe further afield. Morwood had a very good third quarter. Left-hand hand pass finds Williams. Away he goes. Francis, you're caught. But too high. Too high. He saw the tackle coming. Big Jimmy Steins maybe could have done better on that tackle. Sets it up into the forward line. Schwartz flies high and takes a terrific mark. Has moved to fullback early in the game to cover big Severio Rocker.
8th mark to David Schwartz, and he kicks it wide to Goodwin. Goodwin, his kick has been smothered off the boot. Marnie can't quite get there in time, Matthew Marnie.
I think the handball would have been better there, Robbo, rather than that short kick.
Well, that's where the lack of just finesse, I suppose, with Andy Goodwin has found out. I mean, he's a very determined young man. Collingwood forced the ball up to left half forward, just near the small scoreboard. Collingwood 13-15, Melbourne 13-8. Magpies, I feel quite certain that they would have felt the Demons were a threat here today, and that's exactly what Melbourne have done. They've just been nipping at Collingwood's ankles all day long. Stretch out to the wing. Marnie and Gafer. Boundary throw in on centre wing.
It's pretty even statistically, Robbo. 70 marks to 72 in favour of Melbourne. 179 kicks to Collingwood, 176 to Melbourne. 84 hand passes to Melbourne, 94 handballs to Collingwood.
Well, there's not much difference on the scoreboard either. Bernie, Collingwood lead at this stage by just 7 points. And Watson there, seeing the ball over for another throw-in. Watson, who spent some time on the interchange bench, has just 4 possessions to his name.
I'm surprised wouldn't want an injury either, because Francisca and Mickey McGuire, they won't take any further part in the match. They're both looking very sore at three-quarter time. Monkhorst saying, well, I've got the ball and you haven't, so don't worry about it.
Another good performance by the big Collingwood ruckman.
Yes, he's been very good, especially in defence where he's got back and helped out his defenders. Monkhorst around the outer side of the ground looking for Manson from behind. Can't take the mark. Brad Rowe, there's a play being held there. And the free kick to go back to Melbourne to be taken by Andy Goodwin. Goodwin from half-back for Melbourne. Centres the ball, looking for Obst. Obst up in front, thumped away by Richardson. The Magpie skipper, Tony Shaw. A quick kick away. Oh, there's Morwood. He's been terrific for Collingwood since half-time. Away he goes on the left boot. Out in front, Dacos. And Schwartz tidies up for Melbourne. A long clearing kick from defence to the outer side of the ground. A couple of Melbourne players there. Keogh may have been taken high initially. No, play on.
Caught with the ball.
Yes, free kick paid. And Fraser, good tackle there to the young Collingwood player.
Well, Rod Keogh not too happy, but I think once you've tried to spin out of trouble, if you're tackled and retarded, the ball goes to the tackler, and that person was Mark Fraser. Goodwin maybe trying to steal a mark there, as umpire Abbott indicates that it was touched by the Collingwood player, and umpire and player conversing before umpire will bounce the ball. It's about 35 metres out from the Collingwood goal. So they have a chance here. Steins bangs it towards the boundary line, and that's where it finishes up. So we'll have a throw in now, about 30 metres around from the Collingwood goal. The Magpies are a chance. Look at Steins' statistics, 28 possessions, and he's worked tirelessly in the ruck all round the ground. Manson gets in front. Kicked back by Brett Lovett. Back near the centre of the ground. Obst ran hard at the football. Richardson, Mark Fraser. Now a chance for Matthew Phoebe. He's retarded. Todd Viney. Brad Rowe has the football, can't break clear. Andy Lovell well tackled by Tony Francis, and Tony Francis will get the free kick. Andy Lovell, you're a little stiff, my son.
Yes, but Tony Francis, second highest tackler in the AFL competition behind Tony Liberatore. A very hard-working rover is Tony Francis.
Pass and a good mark taken by Williams, and he's well within scoring distance. A chance for Collingwood to maybe breathe a little easier. They lead at the moment by 7 points, 13-15 to 13-8. Jimmy Steins having a chat to the umpire, but the kick will be taken by Paul Williams.
Well, they could do with a little bit of breathing space here, Robbo. Things are a bit tight on the scoreboard for the Magpies. 7 points in front.
And if they lose at the moment, they're on top of the ladder. Geelong breathing down their neck, and Footscray in third posse. And those teams only separated by percentage. A chance for Williams. He's directly in front and he kicks the goal. So Paul Williams' first goal, with just 16 and a half minutes left in the game, gives Collingwood a 13-point advantage.
Yeah, it's a very handy goal there for Collingwood, coming from the boot of Paul Williams. He's played on the wing all afternoon and done a pretty serviceable job for Collingwood, recruited from North Hobart. That's his first goal for the afternoon and his 11th goal for the season. His stats pretty good. 10 kicks, 10 hand passes, 5 marks. Umpire Russo bounces the ball. Marnie doing the ruck work now for the Demons against Monkhorst. Monkhorst gets a tap down. Keogh the hand pass. Marnie in the centre of the ground, ducked his head, but he's going to get the free kick for a high tackle. He started the game at full-back on Rocker. He was taken from the ground, has spent some time at centre-half forward, now doing the ruck work. Goodwin providing the lead around the outer side of the ground. Good play by Andy Goodwin, getting things moving into the forward line. In front is Richardson, and he takes a strong defensive mark for the Magpies. Richardson.
I don't think Andrew Obst would be too happy with his efforts there.
No, well, you have to get in front, Robbo, if you're forward also. That's the main thing. Manson up against Goodwin, taken by the racehorse Fraser. One bounce, he's caught almost. May have been legged. I think the Magpie crowd saw that he could have been legged there. They're not too happy with the umpiring decision anyway. It's forced over the boundary line for another boundary throw-in.
Well, Mark Fraser endeavouring there to get the ball into the clear. Collingwood by 13 points halfway through the last quarter. Melbourne need to get the next goal. Todd Viney well harassed there by Tony Francis. Forces a throw-in. Manson gets in front and makes it difficult, but Goodwin over the top. Scott Russell, who's been quiet. Had a very good first half, Scott Russell. has kicked 3 goals, which added to those stats makes it a reasonable performance by Scott Russell. Todd Viney finds some space. Short pass, okay. Marnie marks in front of Gaffer. Matthew Marnie, affectionately known as Rocky at Melbourne, but his kick, it's taken too easily by Monkhorst.
His 12th mark, Robbo.
He got back very well, and he may turn defence into attack. Pert, his kick, very good. Francis can go to Watson if he can get through. There's plenty of space. Watson's got the football. Williams there in support, but Watson kicks to the front of the square. A very good kick. Rocker can't take the mark. Free kick picked out of it, and it may go to Road, and it could be against Peter Dacos.
Yes, he's dragged off it there, Peter Road. Almost had the mark. The hand pass finds David Schwartz. The short pass. Phoebe at half-back for the Demons. Long hand pass to Brett Lovett. Not a good one. It's setting things up very well here, Melbourne, at times. In the end, Lovett, a forced kick, had to go kick it hurriedly. Sullivan, 60 metres from goal, now closing, 50. A high kick into that forward line, Jakovich and Pert, and I think it hit the post, yes. That's another point to the Demons. Collingwood leads by 12 points. Garry Pert to take this kick in for Collingwood.
What's the price of draw?
Oh, well, you can name your price, Robbo, but just over 13 minutes remaining on the clock. It's a poor kick in from Garry Pert.
That's gone out on the full. Glenn Lovett quick to sum that up. He's got the free kick.
Oh, Garry Pert, well, that was...
No, it came off the boot of Darren Saunders,
yes,
I think.
I realise that, but the kick out from full back from Garry Pert was ordinary.
Well, Gary Lyon kicked a goal from a very similar position earlier in this quarter. Can Glenn Lovett do the same? It's very close. It is a behind to Glenn Lovett. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. And it's just 11 points the difference. This kick is better, and it is marked this time by Darren Saunders.
Yes, well, that's better from Garry Pert, chancing his arm a second time. He transfers play to the member side of the ground. Gaffer can't take the mark. Good pressure there by Andy Lovell. Getting back, applying that pressure. Jamie Turner gets a hand pass away. Williams, he's got some pace. Sullivan doing well. Williams couldn't control the ball. Just a little bit of a fumble there. Turner again cleaning up. Watson can get the hand pass on to Williams. Good backing up from Paul Williams there. Centres the ball into that forward line, but only as far as Yates. Away go the Demons. Big Jimmy Steins.
Steins' kick is excellent. Glenn Lovett will mark. Tony Francis a little late on the scene. Glenn Lovett the chance to put Melbourne within scoring distance. Into the pocket. Nearly a mark. It's not paid. Play on, says the umpire now, as Andy Lovell. Collingwood get clear. Tony Shaw. His kick goes out towards a vacant wing area. Close to the boundary line. It's picked off by Road. Short kick is okay. Keogh plays on quickly. Handballs to Matthew Phoebe. The urgency by the Demons has increased. Phoebe's kick to the goal front. Punched away magnificently by Monkhorst. Gaffer goes away to Turner, and Collingwood out of trouble. Turner's kick is very good and finds Williams at right half back. Short pass, Tony Shaw in trouble. Brett Lovett sidesteps Watson and then kicks it into the pocket, and Steins marks. Melbourne not giving up without a fight. The Demons came here with a mission. Steins has the football in the left forward pocket. Melbourne trail by just 11 points. This kick could make it just one kick the difference. Jimmy Steins yet to kick a goal. Jimmy Steins still to kick a goal. But he's played a magnificent game for his side, Steins. 21 kicks, 9 hand passes and 11 marks as Pert goes to the far side.
There's 10 points of margin. Great mark there by Glenn Lovett. Mark Fraser, the player, he took that mark over, and there's a pass finding Jakovich. And Matthew Marnie just getting in the way of Garry Pert. He disguised that Shepherd very well. So Jakovich, who's already kicked 7 goals, 3, coming in this to make it number 8 for the Melbourne full forward. Pretty good off the boot. The umpire having a close look at this one. What's he done with it? No, just missed to the right. So 7 goals, 4 to Alan Jakovich. And the margin now 9 points Garry Pert brings this ball back into play, favouring the outer side of the ground. Monkhorst gets a hand to the ball. Tony Shaw, quick hand pass away to the very pacey Fraser on the left boot. They've got the ball into the attack very quickly here, Collingwood, from defence. That kick out from Garry Pert, and all of a sudden, that's 55 metres around from the Collingwood goal.
Good effort by Stretch there. Road has the free kick. It went out of bounds on the full off the Collingwood player. May have been Brad Rowe or Shane Morwood. And Road has the free kick at right half back for Melbourne. Short pass is effective. The mark has been taken by Keogh. Keogh, 16 possessions in the midfield for Melbourne. His kick goes in towards the centre of the ground. Monkhorst high above the pack, tries to crash it forward for his team. Still striving hard, even though he's prostrate. Damien Monkhorst.
Good stats there, Robbo. 12 marks, 14 kicks and 12 hand passes to Damien Monkhorst.
Francis takes it away. Up towards half forward. Shane Morwood can't take the mark. It's been paid. It may be a free kick a little too high. And Morwood, Collingwood, maybe a little fortunate. They've had 31 free kicks to 20. And they lead on the scoreboard by a very slender margin. Just 9 points. McCartney's kick nearly lands in the square. No mark taken. Where are the crummers? Brad Rowe! Brad Rowe goes! No, he doesn't. Excitement here at Victoria Park. 10 points, the advantage for Collingwood. 14-16, 13-12, and Garry Lyon kicking in for Melbourne.
He's now playing at full back, it seems, Garry Lyon. And Jimmy Steins may be playing at centre-half forward on Michael Gaffer. At half-back here for the Demons. And a free kick has been awarded to Brad Rowe, about 60 metres around from goal in front of the Collingwood Social Club. He centres the ball into that forward line, looking for Manson, thumped away by the Melbourne defenders. Glenn Lovett, away he goes, one bounce. Out of defence, a long clearing kick, but only as far as Gaffer. It lands in front of him, Charles, the very pacey Sean Charles, away he goes. Across his body into that forward line, Garry Pert away in front of Jakovich. Come on, Jakovich, get out there and get with Garry Pert, because he's clearing that ball far too easily. Keogh can't take that mark, should have taken it in the end. And Morwood able to tie that up. Tony Francis. He's got some pace, Tony Francis, and some skill to go with it. Two bounces. Onto his left boot, into the forward line. Manson in front, Marnie over the top. Dacos, what can Dacos do? He can't kick this one. Into the goal face, and Watson, almost. Away go the Demons. This is Graham Yates clearing in front of the Collingwood Social Club.
Yates' kick. And it was all right too. Sullivan marks on centre wing in front of Williams. No one really to kick to, but Sullivan now plays on. Bombs away towards centre half forward. Schwartz in front. Oh, he nearly got it at the second grab. Tony Shaw, Gaffer, Saunders. Back near the centre of the ground. High was Marnie. Glenn Lovett nearly took it with him. Now he will this time. Hand pass away. Out wide to the wing now. Steins. His kick is high. In towards half forward. Oh, an excellent effort there by Lovell. It's been paid. And Andy Lovell is 55 to 60 metres from goal. He's got no one to kick it to. Jakovich is back there on his own. Now the pass. Too high for Jakovich. And away goes Richardson. Richardson's kick is excellent. And he finds Williams at right half back.
They need some more numbers down in that forward line, the Demons, because Jakovich, the only player there against 4 Collingwood defenders. Goodwin trying to mark it one-handed. That has given away the free kick.
Absolute
holding decision there.
Both players doing the same thing.
Fair enough, Robbo. Manson gets the free kick anyway, awarded by umpire Russo. Thumped away. Here's Brad Rowe. A very pacey Collingwood forward pocket rover. Watson. The late inclusion into this Collingwood side for Starcevich. And Tony Francis, great smother there by the Demons. This is Matthew Phoebe. Stephen Stretch now playing at half-back on Morwood, gets the kick away. Bounces high, Sullivan does pretty well to compete against Manson. Andy Lovell, away he goes on the left boot. And the quick pass finding Jimmy Steins just inside the boundary line. Fine diving mark by Jimmy Steins in front of Michael Gaffer.
What an effort, 199 centimetres, Jay Steins, and did it like a rover. Steins' kick. And it's marked by Jakovich. Melbourne, no spent force. clawing away. Jakovich with 7 goals to his credit. 13-12 plays 14-16. 5 3/4 minutes left. Jakovich, the chance to make the difference, just 4 points. His kick is offline. If only Alan Jakovich had kicked straight. 7-5. Melbourne trail by 9 points.
Well, especially in that third quarter, Robbo, he had plenty of opportunities from around about that 30-metre mark. He missed 3 in a row.
Garry Pert kicks into the far side. He's kicked quite magnificently this afternoon. Monkhorst can't take the mark. Marnie, oh, that was a bit severe, Tony. But the umpire elects to bounce the ball out there at right half forward for Melbourne. Not much time left. The blue coat boys surrounding the boundary line. So the final siren not very far away. Can Melbourne make up that 9-point margin? Monkhorst, chance for Todd Viney. Hand pass is all right into the path of Sean Wight. His kick, Lovell will take a mark. He's only 20 metres out, Andy Lovell. And pretty well straight in front. This will make the difference, just 3 points. Lovell, only a couple of steps, but he makes no mistake, it's a Melbourne goal. Andy Lovell's first goal, and the difference is just 3 points.
As with just 4 1/4 minutes remaining on the clock, it's anyone's game now. It's been nip and tuck all day. Melbourne coming back. 13 points down at 3/4 time. They led by 1 point at half-time and 10 points at quarter time. Can they get up? Jim Steins doing the ruck work against Monkhorst. A bounce down by umpire Russo. Very important is centre break. They both jump early. Monkhorst getting the second effort out. Thumped away by Melbourne. Lovell, the player who kicked the last goal for Melbourne. Hand pass away. This is Matthew Phoebe. He's tackled very quickly by Scotty Russell. Pretty untidy play here. Tony Shaw, tremendous courage putting his body in. Sean White at the end of that hand pass on the left boot. He gets the kick away and he's put it through. Melbourne in front. What a comeback from the Demons. 3-point advantage, 15-13, 103. Collingwood 14-16, 100. With just 3 minutes 53 remaining on the clock. Can Collingwood answer the challenge? Gee, they've shown some spirit, both these sides today. The Demons coming back. They really looked as if they were in a lot of trouble. 27-minute mark of that third quarter. They trailed by 25 points.
Well, all the fans now on their toes. Monkhorst gets the tap out, but it doesn't really go to Collingwood's advantage. Sean White bashes it up to half forward. Melbourne player underneath all that was Matthew Phoebe. And boys, the umpire will have to bounce to start play once again.
Well, the last time they played here, Robbo, was in 1987 when these two sides met. And on that occasion, Melbourne was victorious by 55 points.
Well, the game's still far from over. Oh, there's a great effort by Rowe, not paid. Shane Moore at interception. Rowe, give it off, son. No, he's going to try and cover himself in glory. He's kicked to the goal line. No mark taken. Dacos has got to perform something here. He has! Dacos has kicked a miracle goal. No, it's a free kick, is it? What's happened?
I'm not sure what's going on, Robbo. Was it touched off the boot?
The goal umpire's given a decision yet, has he? The goal umpire's done nothing. He hasn't waved the flag. It must have been a free kick.
May have been a holding free kick against Rocker on Garry Lyon. That's the only thing it could have been.
Well, no score registered. Williams, Glenn Lovett dragged to the ground. Umpire Russo says throw it in. 2 minutes 50 left. Melbourne lead by 3 points. The ball in Collingwood's forward pocket.
Monkhorst and Steins. Anyone's game still. Collingwood in attack. They need to make something out of this. Kicked off the ground by Viney. Sean White, quick hand pass to Sullivan, now playing on the wing. And this could be forced over the boundary line. McCartney keeps it in, but the boundary umpire... Oh, the crowd not too happy with that decision. I thought, in fact, he kept it in too.
Very doubtful.
Well, line ball decision. The boundary umpire pretty good position. Under 2.5 minutes remaining on the clock. The boundary throw in. Monkhorst and Steins have battled hard against each other all day. Taken by the Magpie skipper Tony Shaw. Morwood up against Stretch, thumped away by the Melbourne defenders. This is Brett Lovett. If he can get this and sit up for him, they're away. Then Lovett hand passes to Andrew Obst. Away go the Demons. Schwartz. He can get the hand pass back to Obst or Lovett. Messing around a bit at the moment, the Demons. Still they hold the 3-point advantage into that forward line. Jakovich has the ball thumped away by Garry Burt. Jimmy Steins maybe could have taken possession of that. A good tap on there from Watson finds Garry Burt, and he could drive the Magpies right into attack.
Very ordinary kick. He got under it a little. Up towards full forward. A great mark taken by Yates. Collingwood had the chance there. Pert's kick was probably, could have done a little better maybe. He's a tired man watching him run back towards full back. Yates has the football with 1.5 minutes left. Melbourne lead by 3 points.
There's no hurry to move it.
Fantastic performance by the Demons. They've fought and clawed their way into this game. Monkhorst a big punch. Taken away by Viney to no one in particular. Tony Shaw strength. He just went straight at the football. Lovell in there to hold it in for Melbourne. And still the Demons hang on.
Well, Robbo, John Northey said that the Demons would shape the final 6. And, well, he's been shown to be right on that statement today.
Great smother by Turner and Obst. Free kick going to Collingwood. Under 1 minute left. They've got to make something of this. Scotty Russell into the half-forward area. Manson marks. Move it quickly, jumping James. You've got to kick it inside 50. He does. They need a mark here. It's a Melbourne mark taken by Schwartz.
Yes,
and that certainly will be the end of the Magpies. Nearly half a minute now. And Schwartz wasting precious seconds. No, time on has been called.
Yes, a terrific performance by the Demons to get up here. 36 seconds remaining on the clock. The Demons in possession of the ball from half-back through Schwartz. He favours, oh, well, look at this. Away he runs from Rocker. Poor defending of the mark there. He gets a hand pass away to Peter Rode. Tumbles a kick into the forward line. A pretty ordinary kick there in the end from Rode. Taken by Watson. Not much time left for Collingwood to get out of this. Play on call, Lovett. Andy Lovell. 45 metres on the left boot. And he has kicked the sealer for the Demons. It's all over here at Victoria Park. Melbourne in front now by 9 points with 1 second remaining on the clock. So Collingwood, they won't lose top spot to Geelong because Geelong has the bye today. But Footscray was well on top of North Melbourne at three-quarter time. So they could lose top spot today to the Bulldogs. 1 second remaining. Umpire Russo going through the formalities of bouncing the ball before the siren blows. And there it is, a great victory to the Demons here at Victoria Park. Melbourne 16 goals 13, 109 has defeated Collingwood 14 goals 16, 100.